just the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The Boston Bruins open up their regular season tonight, and they'll do it on the road against the Washington Capitals. GM Don Sweeney is just happy nobody got hurt in the last few weeks.
Getting through at this point in time a training camp where we are healthy to start the season is reason for optimism first and foremost. You got other teams that are going through some challenging injuries right off the hop, so they're going to test depth. We know we're going to test depth throughout the season.
Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers are back for their second season together. They'll have the pregame at 7 and the face-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots players had yesterday off. They'll be back out of practice this afternoon with a road game coming up Sunday against New Orleans. This game was originally a 4 p.m. kickoff that was flexed to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Cincinnati has acquired quarterback Joe Flacco in a 6th-round draft pick from Cleveland in exchange for a 5th-round pick. Flacco was just benched by the Browns last week. The Celtics preseason begins tonight in Memphis against the Grizzlies. Yesterday, Jason Tatum was named as a special advisor to Duke head basketball coach John Shire. And the Yankees are still alive in the Major League Baseball playoffs after a come-from-behind 9-6 home win over Toronto. Aaron Judge hit a game-tying 3-run homer and drove in 4 runs for the win. The Blue Jays still lead that best-of-5 2-1. Out in Detroit, Seattle beat the Tigers 8-4 to take a 2-1 series lead. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Catches Law. At Catches, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit CatchesLaw.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
Here we go.
Boom. I win.
Boom.
Yeah.
Hit somebody.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
They love the show. In fact, they said, Fred, you're the best.
and Hardy
Who's Taylor the originator?
on 98.5.
Hello.
Hey there.
Aloha.
Bonjour.
How we do it?
What? I'm an animal.
Can we use this for the radio? No, Nick, with your drinking at noon on Monday.
Well, I tell her the truth, I miss Booty.
That problem is too large for the Sarge.
You know how I feel about clowns on morning shows?
And I'm just saying, hello.
Toucher and Hardy.
Watch Daddy and Uncle Freddie.
Knocking back
25 glasses of soda.
having some fun.
On 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning.
She's got a big pair of cans.
And so do you, Jason Whitlock.
With that big rack.
I know. The way you talk, it's very outrageous. Very outrageous. You have taken society and turned it on its head.
Deep inside me is a great way to spend your birthday.
It's just the tonality of it. You can tell he's deliberately trying to be risque, which is my only issue with it. I mean, men sometimes talk about big cans and things of that nature. There's no question about it, but it's usually more conversational than red.
Keep your distance.
That's right. He had to keep his distance from the hot chick because he knew himself. And her wanting to have sex with him would force a inner business sex romp. All right. We're Toucher and Hardy. Watch us on YouTube. Subscribe to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. And you can do that. And also know that we are in the Town Fair Tire Studios. 617-779-0985 is the line that Blind Scott sits on. The entire show is what he does. A big show on the way today. The situation in North Carolina is getting more and more dire. And the thing you got to remember about North Carolina, I won't get into it too much here. We'll do it at 8. But the thing you have to remember about North Carolina is that they're not used to people talking about them like this. So this, you might push it away and say, well, they'll get through this. It's it's nothing bad's happened. This will all, go on. It will be fine. But they're not used to this. This isn't like the Red Sox or the Patriots, like where it's constant streams of news. I mean, there was decades of lag time of just no one paying attention to this program. So you're finally getting attention, and it's entirely negative. And now it's funny because national writers, Wall Street Journal, all these places are just taking deep shots at him. And you can tell people have kind of saved up this vitriol. I have not saved it up. I've been quite open about it for quite some time. And I saw this all coming a mile away, which I do demand credit for. And both of you, even though you look to undermine me at every turn, you have to admit that I took the slings and arrows of the audience when I first started calling into question Bill Belichick's sanity. And yet, here we are, a year later.
I just dismissed this as jet hatred of Belichick for pantsing your team all those years, but I got to give you credit. You were ahead of the curve.
Have I been negative about this iteration of the team? I have not.
No.
No, I don't like. I never liked Belichick. I saw through it, and now everything that I thought I saw is becoming apparent in 2020 vision.
Also, Fred, it's not just football. I mean, think about North Carolina over how many years? The Stoic University, how Dean Smith, straight-laced. I mean, how many controversial football coaches have there been in the past? It's not just football. North Carolina has always been the, I don't know, for lack of a better phrase, the quiet school that's supposedly a very good academic institution. There was never anything negative said about the school, let alone the football program for all these years.
Well, you
and
remember
now you have this, the circus is in town.
Did you watch White Lotus?
I did not see
Okay,
White
so the
Lotus.
new season of White Lotus, like a running joke, which was very low key, but it's obvious, is that the Parker Posey character, she either wore a Duke or North Carolina shirt, and her husband wore a Duke or a North Carolina shirt. Like there was one or the other, and I think the husband wore Duke and she wore North Carolina because I know Duke was pissed that the bad guy was wearing a Duke shirt. But there is that kind of quiet competition between those universities. It's Southern. It's not like real hickish. So they're like kind of above the whole South thing. So they're two very good schools. North Carolina's a really good school, and Duke's a really good school.
Yeah.
And there's this kind of, there's the North Carolina State stuff with sports, but that's so North Carolina's got a very like Tony heeled alumni.
It's stoic, maybe.
But they think of themselves. It's like Michigan of the South. To my understanding, it's like Stanford, Michigan, North Carolina, these kinds of schools. North Carolina's not as good as Stanford, Michigan, but like it's that kind of feeling about it, right? Like they're better than people.
Sure.
But there's that competition with Duke because Duke people also think they're better than people.
Well, yes. I think Duke would take exception. They would call North Carolina more like the Michigan State to their Michigan.
But it's not though, right? Like North Carolina is like a really good school, and so there is just that competition. So even more so is that North Carolina believes they're like Michigan, and Duke thinks they're like Michigan State. So there is this air of, it was a desperation grab to get Belichick and pay him $10 million of taxpayer money. So, there is that aspect of it. So I have a feeling that this is not good. It's a lot different than my point is it's a lot different getting crap if you're the Patriots or the Red Sox or the Celtics than it is being the North Carolina football coach. Like, it's such a smaller pond, and it's so unaccustomed to being the target of national ridicule. Because I would imagine any controversy North Carolina basketball's had has been more than made up for with tradition of winning and, NBA players and everything, and Jordan, like all that stuff. Any controversy they've had, it's kind of like you hate us because you ain't us, that whole dumb crap. There's garbage. So it's always been garbage. And it was a weak attempt to gain relevancy through a stunt. And now it's all blowing up in their face. So there you go.
Yes.
All right. Jim, go ahead.
Good morning, Fred. How are you? Thanks for picking up the call.
Well, it's positive.
I can't hear you.
It's positive, so that's why.
No, it's totally positive. I wanted to say that I could totally appreciate the struggles you've been through, and I've seen the change in you, and I really enjoy listening to it. And I agree with you 1,000% on North Carolina thing. Belichick's an idiot. And I mean, what the hell is this guy thinking?
That's true. It's very true. Both things. I'm doing very well, and
Yes.
Bill Belichick is in a heap of trouble. We are going to talk
I
about
don't care.
Eddie Trunk today. I can't hold on to this anymore. I have to do it before the Eddie Trunk segment. So, Bad Bunny has been announced as the Super Bowl halftime performer. Now, Eddie Trunk, as is his way, does not like this because rock is, for some reason, rock is being completely overlooked again by the Super Bowl. According to Eddie's math, it's been 16 years since a rock act has done the halftime of the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
Now, when people call in, is there this time a little bit of racism? Yes. And I'm not making it up. It was like a little bit like, because he's doing it in Spanish, and it never occurred to me to care, like at all. Like, it's just, they booked a guy, he's doing the gig, and, don't, like, as if you have some inalienable right to have a band you like play the Super Bowl halftime show. It really is preposterous. But in fairness to Eddie Trunk is always, this is like his hill to die on. Like, this is his minority group, like Hesher rock guys. He had Uli von Roth or something on yesterday for a very long time, but I can't take this any longer. So
and by the way, Maroon 5 played in 2019. Okay, and they rocked that month.
Coldplay doesn't count.
I don't know. He doesn't count it. He means like Hesher rock, like
right. The Who in 2010.
Yeah,
which I'm the biggest Who fan in the room, and that was not good.
Oh.
No, it wasn't great. So it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. All right, so here's the question: the Super Bowl is in San Francisco. He had a guest on who he thought was very brave. Brave. For making this suggestion. Famous musician, who was it, and who boldly and bravely suggested that his band play the halftime show at the Super Bowl? This is the first question, and then there's a preposterous notion after that. It's San Francisco band.
It's a San Francisco band.
And it's not the Grateful Dead because it's Eddie Trunk.
Metallica.
Eddie Trunk's not a fan.
Yeah.
Okay, so Metallica is who everyone wanted to play it.
Right.
And that makes sense. Actually, and you would think that maybe they would because they're the biggest band, one of the biggest bands in the world, and they are from San Francisco, so you would think that would be the case. But Metallica was what they were all kind of saying, this is like, we're being marginalized because Metallica aren't doing it. But of course, Metallica didn't call Eddie Trunk to suggest it. Who would call Eddie Trunk? They're a big, huge San Francisco band, but maybe not anymore.
Marillion.
Wow. That's
know
a
what
deep
Marillion is.
They're like a prog rock band from the 80s and 90s.
This is no prog rock band.
Green Day.
Wouldn't be.
No. They wouldn't. Yeah, they called Eddie Trunk. Billy Joe's been on Eddie Trunk's show.
It wouldn't be like Les Claypool from Primus. He's not
come on, guys.
He's not that pompous.
No.
Guys.
But like,
no, this is a big
San
band.
Francisco not together anymore.
Big band, and somebody big band.
Was a big
No, really, they were a huge band. They're not anymore, but they were a huge band.
Are they metal metal bands?
No,
Okay.
they're like rock, like garbage 70s rock. But they were a giant band. They're not. All the original members aren't in it anymore, including there's giant band.
Okay.
You're unfamiliar with the San Francisco scene. I mean,
no, all the ones I've been naming are like alt rock bands.
No, it was a big band. They're like a band that 30 years ago, if they were doing halftime shows, could have done a halftime show. But they weren't doing them back then. So
yeah,
and the guitar player called in to bravely suggest. He tweeted first, and then Eddie asked him on.
Okay,
he made a very brave tweet.
I can't think
He
of another
crossed the aisle
big
politically.
San Francisco rock band from the.
Okay, it's Neil Schon from Journey.
Journey.
Oh.
Yeah. I was actually about to guess
all the
that.
sense in the
Yeah.
world.
All right, so
Yeah.
Neil Schon calls in, and he's nothing if not humble. So he says it would be a rotating stage. It would be Metallica. It would be us. Now Eddie threw his hat in the ring.
No.
And with all seriousness, suggested another artist to be on the rotating stage from San Francisco.
Slayer.
John, you would know this.
Oh.
Because you are familiar with this man's canon. Who did Eddie suggest? It's funnier if you guess.
Okay.
Eddie suggested that this San Francisco artist go on. Now it's Eddie Trunk.
Yeah.
Suggesting this.
So
Eddie Trunk might have a horse in this race.
So Huey Lewis is out?
Huey Lewis is not in. It is not. I don't believe. I mean, I'm sure they love Eddie Trunk, Huey Lewis, and the News, but there's no personal relationship there. So it would be Journey, Metallica. Like, so you would think Steve Perry would be back with Journey. So
right. If they did
Journey
that,
with Steve Perry, Metallica. So if Journey, in all seriousness, if they got Steve Perry back and they played Just Don't Stop Believin', it would be like a big thing.
That would be huge.
Sure
and then Metallica goes and plays 2 songs. And so you're like, all right, well, those are 2 huge bands, like they're corporate bands, like everyone would like it. But he said, yeah, it's a rotating stage. Who would be the third act on the bill?
Jefferson Starship.
No. It's worse than that.
No.
It's Eddie Trunk. You guys find it very difficult to follow me with the Primus and everything. He's not like that. He's like a guy that took shop at the high school you lived by while you were in elementary school.
The Doobie Brothers.
No.
And
you have a list up.
John's under the gun to guess.
John should know. San Francisco.
Yeah.
You might not even know the guys from San Francisco, but John should.
Hot Tuna.
New Riders of the Purple Sage.
John Marmaduke Dawson.
I'll tell you this. It's a solo artist at this point.
Ooh. Oh boy.
Did Nick just have a guess?
So Metallica plays, Journey plays Don't Stop Believin', then the stage rotates, and this gentleman comes out. Is Eddie's, in all seriousness, idea for the Super Bowl halftime show. Think of what you know about Eddie Trunk. I need you to guess this.
Is it?
It's Eddie Trunk.
Is it like
Eddie
Sebastian
Trunk.
Bach?
We don't listen to Eddie Trunk. You're the
Adam
only
does.
one who
Adam
listens
does.
to Eddie
I should
Trunk.
know this.
Adam
though.
does. Adam should know
so
this.
I'm thinking like, is it Jeff Tate from Queensryche? Is that who we went? Or am I at least in the right area? I don't think they're a San Francisco band, but they're another one of those bands where there's 3 versions of Queensryche touring now because they're all fighting with each other.
It's a guy that's like bigger than Queensryche, but not by a ton.
Okay.
So it's not Night Ranger.
No, but now you're in the ballpark.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
But it's a solo artist, so they would be on a bill with Night Ranger. That would not be ridiculous. You're gonna shoot yourself when you hear this, Adam, because you are gonna think to yourself how little you've learned. It's as clear as it's Eddie Trunk, a friend of Eddie Trunk, and it's staring you in the face. You can Hardy can yell at me, but
and he
you're
has
gonna,
him on all the time.
Yeah, and you're gonna get pissed.
Yes.
And John should know this because I know that John knows.
Okay.
So John knows the artist is from San Francisco. You know Eddie Trunk is friends with him.
Yes.
And so Hardy's out. Hardy shouldn't know this, but you two should. It's a San Francisco artist. Now, he's not part of like a scene. He wasn't like a hippie.
No.
He wasn't in that like 60s, scene there. He's the acid scene. He's not a punk guy from like Berkeley. He's not any of those things. He's a standalone artist from San Francisco. He's very good friends with Eddie Trunk. It goes Metallica, Journey, then this
guy.
I'm going to give you 30 more seconds, and then I'm going to demand an answer.
Okay, so and I'm guessing he's someone that Eddie has had on as a guest.
Like every week. It's ridiculous. I mean, come on.
David Jenkins from Pablo Cruz.
I don't even know why you're still guessing.
It's going to kill me when
it's going to kill you,
because
and
I
it
know
should kill
who it
John.
is, and I'm like picturing a picture of Eddie with his arm around him. And
time is up.
lanyards.
All right.
Sammy Hagar.
Oh, God damn it.
John read the Sammy Hagar
I
biography.
did read. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus
And
Christ.
all of you should have known his relationship with Sammy Hagar through this show.
Yes.
So it would go.
Can we just paint the picture of
It goes-
what the show goes like? How,
So Metallica maybe opens up like they go crazy and like open up with like Sanitarium, and then they go into like the Nightmare song.
Enter Sandman.
Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
And then the stage shifts.
Yeah.
And it goes into Don't Stop
Yep.
Yeah.
Believing. Steve Perry's back with the band. Then it twists around and it goes 1, 2, 3 lock box.
Yeah, 3 lock box.
1, 2, 3 lock box. And Eddie was as serious as a heart attack. Because Neil Schon was being very humble, and he was saying, we'll do a rotating stage.
He's happy to share the spotlight.
He's happy to share the spotlight. He knows maybe they just do Don't Stop Believing.
Yeah, he knows.
And then, let Metallica, let those boys up there to play. But then Santana maybe plays Black Magic Woman.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Is what he suggested. And then Sammy comes out.
Sure.
And he ends the whole mother effer with 3 lock box.
3 lock box.
Or I Can't Drive 55. Can you imagine the country after they hear I Can't Drive 55? Sammy Hagar is the worst. I remember when that video used to play on MTV, and I loved heavy metal, and I would be like, what the hell is going on with those stupid pants?
He did that when Van Halen came out, the 5150 tour. They would do I Can't Drive 55.
Well, he also took to wearing silk hammer pants during that original era of 5150.
2 hours, now it takes all day. Because he didn't write enough lyrics for that line.
Right.
It took me 16 hours to get to L.A. Like, were you driving so fast by like a factor of 8? It took you 8 times longer just because you drove the speed limit? I was thinking to myself, like, you're driving 400 miles an hour? That just doesn't make any sense.
He had a sweet Lamborghini.
I don't believe you.
Well, he had a sweet Lamborghini.
That was the end in the video.
It was like he was flying.
Yep.
He was going 400 miles an hour in that Lamborghini. It was cool. It had all the right curves. So there you go. So if you he doesn't understand why this whole thing's going to be done in Spanish, especially with the political climate right now. He did not. He was dipping his toe into politics.
Did you see any of Bad Bunny on Saturday Night Live?
I saw a skit when he said he loved the Korean pop band, the K-pop band. I saw that skit. Why, was he good?
No,
he
I mean,
wasn't
I watched a
particularly
little bit of it, and
there's a language thing happening which does not translate.
It's
to
so
the
funny.
sketches.
I was talking to my girlfriend last night, and we were talking about how he's great on. But
bang
I want
her?
to give her. I want to give her credit for the comment. It's a good comment. But we're talking about how he's there and he's making effort, and he's game for whatever. But it's that you can't, the timing of comedy, doing it in a language that's not your native language, you can't get the timing down right every time.
Yeah, right. And it's like he was really good in Happy Gilmore, but there was like a script and he wasn't doing a million sketches. So
Right.
that's what I
they
figured too.
Took a million takes to get it right.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
so I don't doubt he can act, and I'm not trying to be PC. I don't doubt
No.
he can act, but the language difference, you are right. He was like off a beat in that sketch that I saw. He's very likable.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
But so like you're not
very
like
talented.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not like I don't know anything about his music because it's in Spanish.
I only know it from listening to it in Daniel's car. Because he played Bad Bunny during one of our trips.
As was his wont, being
as-
from Bad Bunny's home country of Puerto Rico.
As is the custom, yes.
The 51st state. But he has the gall to sing in Spanish, which you have to admit is funny if that's going to piss people off. That's what you want out of a musical artist.
Yeah.
Is that if it's really going to piss half the country off, that's actually a good thing. And it just is. It's like kind of the point. And so if the NFL, without trying, ended up putting themselves in some dumb controversy, that's great too. It's just the outrage is going to be very funny. People are outraged about Kendrick Lamar, and then it was like, because it's so stupid. It's just, don't watch it. Who cares? Who cares? The best Super Bowl halftime shows were Butt Bowl when they would put Beavis and Butthead on at halftime. We'll be right back. There was Major League Baseball excitement yesterday, big comeback. There was NBA trade stuff, the Bruins, the hockey started, all this stuff. We'll have that for you in just a moment.
game last night.
Yo, we're Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lopresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR. Hardy, what's going down in the streets, my friend?
Major League Baseball, Toronto in New York to take on the Yankees, and a chance to finish things off last night in the best of 5. Aaron Judge said, not so fast.
Here's the pitch. High fly ball, deep left field. Down the left field line, it is off the fair pole. Hey now, hey now, hey now. 3-run homer, Aaron Judge. This game is tied at 6-6.
After overcoming I believe a 5-run deficit in that game, the Yankees would go on to win 9-6. So that forces a game 4. Aaron Judge with that home run there, and then a little insurance later on.
1-2 to Wells. The pitch swung on, hit to the right side. Pass Guerrero. Here comes Rosario. The throw from right field to Santander. Not close. Throw to second. Wells slides in safely.
So they got the Boston kid going for New York in Game 4.
Cam Schlittler goes tonight. Toronto apparently is going to be a bullpen
It's a
game
bullpen game for them. So it was a big loss last night for them. They and it's funny because it's very funny because yesterday afternoon, I heard Michael Kay on Mad Dog defending Aaron Judge because Aaron Judge, the Yankee fans were all on him for not hitting for power, even though he was hitting like 400 in the series. And so yesterday he shut everyone up, because he hasn't been very good in the playoffs historically. Mm-hmm. So that was a big home run for his legacy. But if the Yankees win tonight, then the big Game 5, and would Fried pitch that? No, because he pitched Game 2. Or did he pitch Game 1?
Game 1 was Lucas Heel.
Okay, so Fried could not pitch. So it would be interesting to see what's going on in that Game 5.
Yeah, Aaron Judge has not done well in the playoffs in his career, but you look, 1 for 4, 2 for 4, 2 for 4, 2 for 3, and last night 3 for 4 with the homer.
But if the Yankees lose 2 games and Judge doesn't hit a home run, that's how he's going to be judged. No pun intended. That's how people are going to rate his performance. Is based on he's expected to do a ton.
Well, he has to for them to win.
When I saw the Yankees at Fenway this year, he struck out every time he was up, and you're almost personally offended because I came to watch Judge, and this guy can't hit it.
What's this dinky single up the middle? What are you doing?
He didn't hit, but when I saw him, he couldn't hit the ball. Yeah. I don't even know if he fouled anything off. He's so large.
I mean,
he hit a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. He got around on it. That's pretty amazing. So,
the guy won a batting title this year and hit 53 homers. He's pretty good.
He ain't the big dumper.
No. Speaking of the big dumper, the other series going on in the AL,
which has just been thrown to the curb. I said because it was delayed for 3 hours, so I said and I finally sat down. I was with my son. I sat down. I said Detroit Tigers into my remote, and Fox Sports 1 came up, but it was the Yankees Toronto beginning. It wasn't even, the game hadn't even started. It was just pregame. And so I couldn't find the Tiger game. I tried TBS.
I know.
I tried Fox. I tried everything. It was on the effing MLB network.
FS2, I think.
I found it on the MLB
Maybe
network.
It was both, yeah.
Well, I can only tell you where I had it on. And it was the MLB network, and they just don't care about that series. No. It's pretty amazing. Like, if you're just the Yankees or the Dodgers, man, they know where the bread is buttered, which is not good for baseball. I'm telling you that if they need the Yankees and the Dodgers to get ratings, it's a big problem. And it's a self-inflicted problem because there's an easy solution for it, and it's a salary cap.
By the way, that Aaron Judge home run, that pitch was about a foot inside.
Yeah.
It's a 100-mile-an-hour fastball on the inside.
It's like an inch above his hands.
The other part
he got around on it.
The guy, I think it was the pitch before, he threw 100 miles an hour right down the middle, and Judge missed it. So, I mean, I think there were 2 strikes. I have to go back.
It was 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think there were 2 strikes, and you're
he
right.
had just
Hardy,
whiffed on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah,
yes.
and you were right, Hardy. The pitch was, 6 inches inside?
Yeah.
And somehow he made that thing stay fair. It's pretty amazing, actually.
Yeah, that's what they wanted out of him. So it's almost like an FU. So now if they lose, they can't blame it on Judge.
But you mentioned the big
Made a good
dumper
catch yesterday.
His team, despite what John was reporting over and over again, the Mariners did not have a 2-0 lead in their series over the Tigers. It was tied at 1-1.
Yeah, the Tigers won game 1. What, did John not know that?
He just kept saying over and over again. He was leading with it. It's like, it's 2-0 in the Mariners-Tigers series. And people are like, John, I don't think so. Shut up.
But people have learned not to pay attention to him. I'm surprised that there was any reaction at all.
So much to John's surprise, he turns on the TV last night, and when the game finally starts, it's
Wait a
tied
minute.
at 1.
Hang on a second.
And
Wait, this isn't the deciding game?
No, they didn't have a chance to close things out last night, but Cal Raleigh showed up anyway.
The stretch and the pitch. Swinging a well-hit ball deep into the gap in left center field. This one is going, and goodbye baseball.
So long, Mr. Spalding.
Cal Raleigh with a home run the other way into the Mariners bullpen.
Yeah, these are the jabronis that they got doing the series no one cares about.
8-4 the final.
MLB Network. Good game. Good sport. MLB Network. When I can't find it, and who...
Well, there are a lot of games on. There are a lot of games on last night. There were 2.
Well, I tried ESPN. It was hockey. I tried TBS. It was like Big Bang Theory. I tried Fox. It was some garbage.
Seriously.
When was the last time you put a network on in the evening? I mean, it's just all. They don't even try. It's just some game show. I mean, I can't find it. And this, regardless of my acumen, this is a sports station, so you would think that I would be able to find it over the general populace. So if I couldn't find it, I call into question like my dad finding it.
Yeah.
It's just not good to bury a game on a network that no one watches except for the draft. That's the only time I put on MLB Network is the draft. And so, I mean, I never watch it, so where is it? And I said into the remote, Detroit Tigers, and it didn't put the game on. It only was one option, and it was the Yankees-Toronto game because of the rain delay, obviously. But when they had nowhere to put the game, they chucked it on the MLB Network. And I don't know how many people get that in the streaming era because I'm old and I have cable, and it comes as part of the cable package. But bad news. That game, what are you going to do? It's delayed 3.5 hours. Flaherty's old. I don't know what the hell they expect them out of him. So
you called it. I mean, he's not a good pitcher.
No, he's not a very good pitcher.
And he's your Game 3 starter if you're Detroit. So
yeah, and so that's not unexpected. They can't hit, but they scored 3 runs in the 9th. So what are you going to do?
Well,
maybe a little momentum going in.
You had trouble finding it because there was hockey on last night, and the defending Stanley Cup champions, Florida Panthers, they were playing.
Now in go the Panthers. Rodriguez, it was poked away, and then out of the right circle, a chance for Samoskevich was stopped, but now it's picked up and they score, and the Panthers take the lead. It's Carter Verhaeghe right out in front.
That made it 2-1. Panthers would go on to win 3-2 last night as their title defense began last night in Sunrise.
No Kachuk, no Barkov. They're
a
a
long
little
time.
banged up, yeah. Both of them. Kachuk's out until, I guess, December, and Barkov's probably out for the season.
Yeah.
So
9 months, 6 to 9 months.
Yep.
So he teared two ligaments in his knee.
Meanwhile, you've got Edmonton re-signing Connor McDavid for $400 a game. He's just wanting to play and win, so God bless him.
I mean,
it is like shocking that anybody would do that in this era, but I know what these guys are doing too. This is the last year they can sign 8-year contracts in the NHL, so he's like, okay, I'll take the less AAV, give me the years. And
McDavid had a 2-year contract extension worth $25 million. He's going to make $12.5 million a year. Now, the guy he's playing with, Draisaitl, makes 14.
Right.
And the guy in Kaprizov in Minnesota, who's a top 10 player, but he's not as good.
They can never get the straw in.
Kaprizov, Capri Sun.
Are you going to play it or not?
No.
Okay.
I just want you to keep talking.
$17 million a year.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And well,
What, the
again,
joke?
McDavid makes 12.5. No, the joke was great.
Yeah, thanks.
It was awesome.
So he's only signed for 2 more years then?
I thought he was doing a bigger extension.
No,
than that.
right?
Okay.
He signed a 2-year contract extension with 12.5. His contract, I think, was going to be up at the end of this season or next season. I forget which.
Yeah,
one
it was. He had in
That makes more
2017. He signed an 8-year, $100 million extension.
Okay.
So
So it's after
he's
this
thinking
year.
they've got a 2-year window to win it there in Edmonton,
Yes.
and then I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, then
Yeah.
he'll go and become a
makes
star. He'll do the Gretzky. So you give Edmonton your 20s, and then you, in your 30s, you go off and have fun.
And you cherry pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is his want. I mean, it's
Yeah.
his right. But I would imagine winning a title in Edmonton is fairly rewarding.
They've been close.
Yes, they
They've been real
absolutely
close.
have. And that's a team in Florida where you can't deny it. It's one of those things where you just want Edmonton to win just to give the people something. Like, just to like you wanted so much more, just take it. Like you should get it.
Even worse is Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg deserves
Well,
it.
Winnipeg
If you're going to
shouldn't
use
have,
that theory.
Winnipeg shouldn't have a team.
But they do.
It's
And
ridiculous.
that's all they have.
It's ridiculous.
We
No
can
one,
talk-
no one wants to be there. No one in Winnipeg wants to be in Winnipeg. No one likes it there. It's where Ice Road Truckers starts. It's where the trucks leave from, Winnipeg, to go up the tundra. It's ridiculous that place has people living in it. I mean, it really is.
It's not habitable.
Barely. I'm not joking.
We should ask Ryan. We're going to have Ryan Johnson on next hour. He went to Winnipeg last year. We should ask his opinion.
Well, he doesn't like it. We have
Yeah.
asked him. He doesn't like it. It's not a good place to be. It's not good. I might be fine in the summer, but it's certainly it's like the tundra. It's geographically the tundra. All right, we'll be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins will start their regular season tonight on the road against the Washington Capitals. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7 and the face-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots visit New Orleans this Sunday. The team will be back out of practice this afternoon. Cleveland has traded quarterback Joe Flacco to Cincinnati along with a 6th-round draft pick in exchange for a 5th-round selection. The Celtics' 4-game preseason schedule begins tonight in Memphis. And at the baseball playoffs, the Yankees came back to beat Toronto 9-6 to force a Game 4 of that best-of-5 playoff series. Seattle beat Detroit 8-4 to take a 2-1 series lead in that best-of-5. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Veterinary Urgent Care Center. With 8 locations in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, VUCC offers compassionate, convenient, high-quality care 7 days a week. Walk in or book an appointment at veturgentcare.com. Veterinary Urgent Care Center, urgent care for your pet's urgent needs. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
We're Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what's going on, my friend?
We were mentioning the start of the NHL season last night for some teams. For the Bruins, it starts tonight. Marco Sturm ready to go.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited. Obviously, it's going to be my first NHL head coach game.
What? I thought this guy had coached before. Oh, we're screwed. He never. Oh, rats.
I mean, first of all, that's or will be something special. And I thought camp went really well. There was a lot of new things we brought in place, not just on the ice, off the ice too. Lots of moving parts.
All right, I'm excited.
All right, well, I can get you more excited. So first line's Geeky, Lindholm, and Pasternak.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Zaka, Middlestat, and Victor Arvidsson. Yep. And then the third line, Hardy,
Yep.
if you just to educate you and to get you a little hyped up,
Yep.
is a man by name of Tanner Janot.
Tanner Jeannot.
Jeannot, yeah.
Yep, whatever. Fraser Minton, who I've heard of before, and Matej Blumel.
Blumel's good. I'm following him since juniors.
I mean, Matej Blumel.
Wow.
Yeah.
The fourth line is Mikey Isamont. Sure. Sean Corrali, who we know, and Mark Kastelic.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So there are some names that I know and some names that I don't. So this will be a getting to know you period.
Well, we know
that third line, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I've heard of Fraser Minton.
Look out.
Did they trade for Fraser Minton?
Yes, he was one of those
Jeannot.
Yeah, well, no, Jeannot is a free agent signing. People were up in arms because they gave him 5 years and he can't score and is more of a checking line guy.
That seems to be the vibe.
Minton, I think, without looking, was part of the Carlo trade up to Toronto. Minton was one of Toronto's top prospects.
So there you go. So I recall that name. But this will be, for me at least, I can only be transparent, this will be a learning experience. Now, the defense, we all know.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the third right defenseman, John? I'm going to embarrass myself if I try to pronounce it.
Spell it for me.
Jokiharju.
Jokiharju.
Okay, why?
They got him from Buffalo, I think, in another deadline deal, I want to say.
Okay.
Henry Jokiharju, I think is how you pronounce it. Hank. Could be Hank.
Yeah. Hanky is what they would call him because they have to put an E at the end of everything. But so the defense, except for him, I'm aware of. And there are 3 players whose names I can't pronounce that are forwards, who I've never heard of. So this will be a fun night of getting to know guys at 7:30.
Well, we know the guy in net, and Marco Sturm says he's good to go.
Right now, he's in a really good spot. He's happy since I met him, actually.
Do you know he's happy, though, or is he just putting on a facade?
I met him. Oh, good.
You met Jeremy Swayman?
Wow.
Oh, he's a goalie. They don't practice with the team.
You have been putting in the work.
I called him. I remember that.
He remembers it.
You got his number and everything?
Like he's combing through his data bank in his head.
How about that?
Let me check my phone to make sure called. Leave your number on the data bank. I call you, but you've got to go.
You don't have to go home, but you've got to get the hell out of here.
You know, tonight I'm going to wear a suit the same color as Jersey.
Right now, he's in a really good spot. He's very talkative. He was smiling. He couldn't wait to get going.
Blah, blah, blah. Talk, talk, talk.
He's exactly the same way like he was 2-3 months ago with me. So.
Okay.
He hasn't changed. He's consistent. He's still talk. Talk. You talk too much.
I tell the defenseman all night long, I want them to check. And he said this is back in that. He talk.
Yeah.
It's a play heavy. Boring. Get into that Florida-Philadelphia game on Thursday for $15.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the people of Florida have really taken to that team.
A lot of loyalty after back-to-back Stanley Cups.
Have you either of you guys been to a Florida home game?
I've not.
I've
been by that arena, but I haven't been in the building.
So, like, if you're unfamiliar with South Florida, as I am, because I guess everyone would be, unless you have like a relative or you own a home there. Like, it's not. Where's Sunrise, Florida? So I was at my ex-wife when we were married. Her one of her grandmothers lived in Aventura, which is a hellhole. Really, it is. It's all high rises full of old people. So there's just ambulances and fire trucks stationed in front of them. Like there's so say it's a 30-story building. I'm not joking. Like these are like big high rises. That means there's, like 1,000 old people. There's someone dying on a consistent basis. It's incredibly depressing. The building that she lived in, the guy put the pool in so the sun was rising by, like whatever happened, the building was blocking out the sun the majority of the day. So he threw himself off the building and died. So it was a good omen from the beginning. So there's nothing around. It's all deli, and that's it. It's delis. That's all there is. There's no like beach. It's just delis. Like it. I don't know why in a million years you'd want to live there. So anyway, we're in Aventura, and I'm like, let's go to a Panthers game because I want to do something. I want to have an activity. 2 hours to get to. I mean, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's by a golf course in a mall. There's a mall in like that Sawgrass, that huge, like very nice. But you don't put that where the houses are. That's not in the city. That's very far from the city. So it's quite amazing. And it was a Toronto home game, essentially. And I didn't know that all those people came in from Canada. So it was cool because it was a Toronto home game. I mean, it was just all Toronto fans. Say there was 15,000 people there. 14,000 were Toronto fans. Like they were chanting and everything. So it was kind of cool. But it's a real hassle. It's a real weird organization. So it's very hard to not root against them, against any Canadian team, as I said, because the Canadian team you just want. They need it more,
Yeah. Very briefly here, the story about Giannis Giannis.
He's on the third line.
Antetokounmpo. He's going to be out there skating, probably get about 18 minutes.
Very heavy
Bruins
game
tonight.
Very heavy game.
And the meeting that went down in Greece over the summer, where they thought they were going to clear the air and say, hey, I'm making these moves. We got Miles Turner in, and now we're going to make a push. And Giannis said, yeah, I don't think this is the place for me. I want to go out and look at some other options. So New York is the team that keeps getting mentioned. Is it the ones who have had their eye on him for a couple of years now? Brian Windhorse, what do you have to say about this?
There's been an expectation for quite some time that
Wouldn't
Giannis
that be funny if he was like a big like Native American guy, Windhorse?
With that voice?
Yeah. It's like he's this great gravity about him, and then he talks.
There's been an expectation.
He ate himself sexless.
Quite some time that Giannis's days in Milwaukee, one way or another, are numbered. Whether that was going to happen this year, whether it's going to happen potentially during this season, or whether it could happen next summer, as Bobby laid out there. The Milwaukee Bucks waived and stretched Damian Lillard. Then they spent an additional $100 million to sign Miles Turner this summer. Those are not the actions of a team that is about to trade the best player they've had since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
No, we all assumed that they would trade him because it would be the best thing for the organization. But Windhorse, that's a good point. Everything they've done has pointed to that they're going to give it another go with him. And really, if they keep him for a couple more years, who cares if he leaves? If I'm a Milwaukee fan, I don't care. Fine, leave. I mean, we got you for the good chunk of your career. So it's like the McDavid thing. If you're in your early 30s and you want to leave, go. Who cares?
Well, also, is it a 2-for-1 deal though? Because they re-signed his brother. And his brother's back on a $2.9 million 1-year contract. And if Giannis does leave, does his brother leave too? Then you're screwed.
Best cheerleader ever.
I'll always think of my son because my son's like, Giannis's brother's on the team. And I'm thinking, oh, my God, my son, with these stupid comments. Like he doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And I'm like, no, he's not. I didn't say those things to him, but I'm thinking them. And I'm like, no, he's not. And then he's like, because he was little. And I'm like, no. And then sure enough, he was absolutely right. They kept a 12th guy that's Giannis's brother.
Yeah.
That is there only to hang out with Giannis. Like, he's not to play in games.
He's there, Bronny.
I mean, it's funny.
Bronny might be better.
They just put a guy. That's how the roster should be 10 players. If you could just carry a guy's brother just to hang out with the brother, it's crazy. So that should be against the salary cap because it's basically just giving Giannis more money by throwing some money at his brother. I mean, it's
2.9. He doesn't have to give his brother to have a lifestyle.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hart.
In this evening against the Washington Capitals at Capital One Arena, it's Game 1 of the Marco Sturm era.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited. Obviously, it's going to be my first NHL head coach game. First of all, that's or will be something special.
Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7 and the face-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The home opener is tomorrow night against Chicago. Patriots players had yesterday off. They'll be back at practice today and begin to get ready for a road game in New Orleans on Sunday. In other NFL news, the quarterback-desperate Cincinnati Bengals yesterday sent a 5th-round draft pick to Cleveland. They got back Joe Flacco and a 6th-round pick. Celtics play in Memphis tonight in their preseason opener. Jason Tatum, meanwhile, named a special advisor to Duke head basketball coach John Shire. And at the baseball playoffs, the Yankees beat Toronto 9-6 to avoid being swept. They force a Game 4 in that best-of-5 playoff series. Seattle beat Detroit 8-4 to take a 2-1 series lead. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Premier Basement Waterproofing. It's the spooky season, but you know what's most frightening? Water in your basement. So call our guys at Premier and never be scared again. 844-LIVE-DRY or premierbasement.net. This Halloween, it's game over for water. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today. Hey, listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Toucher and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
With this Belichick stuff, I got people coming up to me more than I ever have in my career. This is the facts. I was talking to my mom on the phone because I'm a mama's boy. And while I was talking to her, someone came up to me. And my mom was very, very pleased at how famous her little boy is.
Oh.
He's finally done something. Well, no, I'm just kidding. She didn't say anything. But people come up to me. 2 people yesterday. This is a big deal. I'm not out very much. You know, I'm just walking the streets. 2 people. They want to talk about the Belichick thing, which we'll get to at 8 o'clock. Things just keep coming. That wasn't intended. It wasn't something we had planned out ahead of time. It just ended up happening.
We all just kind of find things as the day goes on.
Well,
It's
the
pretty
listeners
amazing,
send it to
actually.
me, which I'm very pleased with. So I do very much, in all seriousness, non-sarcastically, I do appreciate you sending me the news stories and stuff because I get to react then to the audio. Like North Carolina television is all over this, which adds a layer, so I don't have to read the articles or we don't have to read the articles. It's nice to have someone else do it. Go ahead.
But it's not like all of us are actively searching every day for these things. We just kind of stumble across them. It's like, oh, here's something else.
No, I did it. We did a thing. When I say it's just because this is the thing I'm obsessed with. But, you know, we did a thing on Lombardi yesterday, and it went over well. It went well on the YouTube I saw. It came up on my algorithm, so I felt very pleased with that. Nothing ever comes up on my algorithm of me, so I was very impressed with that. But but then, you know, so you're going to leave it alone. Like, you don't want to do it literally every day for a long time, but then you make it so you have to. But this is not what we're doing now. So Eddie Trunk, while we do Belichick, Eddie Trunk is out there pounding the pavement for UFO. Again, this is a show on satellite radio that gets 2 hours of afternoon drive time that we're talking about the new drummer for Rush. And a guy called in who had seen her play with the Jeff Beck Band. This is a international platform for a show for 5 people. And the reason I'm obsessed with it, and this hopefully will get you in the headspace that I'm in, and you can appreciate this as much as I do, is that I was born in 1975. I lived right by the high school that I ended up going to my last 2 years of high school. And when I was growing up in suburban Detroit, there was this mystery denim-clad, working on cars, shop class Hesher, smoking like beet weed that were fascinating to me. When I walked into the cafeteria at North Farmington, there was a mural of like Led Zeppelin and Queen and all this stuff. Like it was, I didn't have older brothers. I didn't have any siblings. So it was, these people were like, 12 years older than me. 10 years older than me, but they were mysterious. They listened to WRIF. They like horrible music. It was just crazy. But it's these guys calling in from this era, so it's like a archaeological project. It's like you found some hidden tombs. Like I saw Y&Z at the San Diego Palladium in 1984. All right, so what is the game we're playing at?
What's Eddie Trump talking about? Oh, yeah.
So, yes, we have a clip here, Fred, and it is Eddie Trunk on with a caller. We haven't done this angle before. Derek from New Mexico is giving a concert review on the Eddie Trunk Show, and it's up to you and Hardy and John to try to figure out which concert.
Now, does he grease Eddie up by saying that they were singing their own songs, like there was no backtracks?
There's
Eddie doesn't like that.
He greases Eddie up, but in a much different way, which you will enjoy.
All right, let's hear who called into the Eddie Trunk Show and what band were they talking about? They're reviewing a concert.
Yes.
Is it a present day concert or was it a concert from the
No,
youth?
no. This gentleman saw this concert over the summer and wanted to share his thoughts with Eddie, and of course Eddie had
4 o'clock on a Tuesday, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They're paying this guy on an international platform to do this. All right, go ahead.
No, you've got it. You've got it in.
Oh, I have it. Okay, Here we go.
Here's Derek in New Mexico. Hi, Derek.
Hello, Eddie, Sebastian, Carrot Top, and Richard Christie. Hey, Eddie, happy belated.
I guess Sebastian Bach, Richard Christie from the Howard Stern Show, and Carrot Top. Those are all. I don't know what a
lineup he had on the show that day. I guess, huh?
Yeah.
No, there's no way he had the top. I don't know about if those were all guests. I just think maybe it's a hidden thing. I'm not into the show that much. I don't know the language.
He does
of
the
it.
show from Vegas from time to time, right? And Carrot Top's a Vegas.
He has
guy,
two homes, stupid. Yes, and one is in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and the other's.
You know, they're showing Wizard of Oz at the Sphere, and then stuff falls out of the sky. They took 20 minutes out of it. They paid $80 million restoring it. Eddie knows what's going on in Vegas, stupid.
Yeah.
Thank you, Eddie.
Here's Derek in New Mexico. Hi, Derek.
Hello, Eddie, Sebastian, Carrot Top, and Richard Christie. Hey, Eddie, happy belated birthday, man.
That's a sign to the resistance to take up arms.
That's the code word. People are huddled around their radios waiting for that phrase.
Honey, we got the go code.
I don't like that. That's why the internet went down last night.
What did he just say? Did he say Carrot Top and Richard Christie? Go to the bunker.
Anonymous all of a sudden gets up and starts hacking.
Hey, Eddie, happy belated birthday, man. I saw you're over there in Vegas and that little on your videos and your pictures and stuff like that at your birthday party where they had that cool cake and they sang for you and everything like that. So
yeah, and yes, Andrew Freeman today posted a video which I didn't even know.
Yeah, Andrew Friedman is up to it. He's up to his antics again. Eddie had a birthday. He's in his 60s. He had a birthday with a cool cake. I mean, take
it's
that.
It's not a birthday celebration without a cake.
It's just Gene throwing up blood. It's just a big, long tongue.
It's red icing. Spoiler alert.
No, it was a fountain. It was a fruit punch fountain. Eddie loves Tahitian treat. He's not as fat as he once was.
Oh.
Andrew Freeman today posted a video, which I didn't even know he had, of everybody singing happy birthday to me, and I reposted it today, and that was very nice. And that was a very cool cake that my friend Alice Goldstein, who lives here in Vegas, was nice enough to get for me. So, yeah, it was a great group of friends.
The Jewish community huddling around Eddie Trunk and making his birthday a very special one.
Yeah. I just wanted to say happy birthday. I didn't need the whole,
Yeah,
I didn't know. You need to know who made the cake and who took the video.
Well, Alice Goldstein got the cake. I don't know if she made it, but she acquired the cake.
Well, Fran Drescher was on in the background. The nanny was on. It was an afternoon at a bar.
And we had a great time there. And,
it was good stuff. This is good stuff.
Yeah. And we had a great time there. And, it was awesome.
Yeah. And then my show was just a little bit over a week ago. It was last Monday over there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And it was at the amphitheater or whatever. And it was Mammoth and Daughtry and...
Okay, so it's Mammoth.
Mammoth.
Who's Mammoth?
That is Mammoth WVH. That is Wolfgang Van Halen's band. Mammoth, Daughtry, and then this was the headliner that is being reviewed by Derek from New Mexico.
Okay, so Daughtry was not the headliner.
No, Daughtry was not headlining.
And Mammoth
was direct support. So
Mammoth was out supporting Metallica. So this got to be a real headline.
Well, it's one syllable. Or did you take stuff out?
No. You've got that right.
Okay.
And I'd seen all of them except for Daughtry, and he was really good. And
yeah, well, no kidding. Tell me something I don't know. Yeah, the dot was good. Okay, the sky's blue. Good. Water's wet. All right, let's move on.
Daughtry was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you hurry up? Yuli Von Roth is on hold. He's going to talk about 70s area Scorpions.
And he was really good. And so I bought my ticket a long time ago because whenever I travel, I usually buy my ticket ahead of time. I know.
Smart. John.
Hey,
you especially.
Listen,
write that down.
Hardy knows that Mesa del Sol amphitheater, that outdoor amphitheater there in Albuquerque, these shows sell out fast. You better buy your ticket ahead of time.
They do.
It's no walk up there.
Yeah, when this guy's ain't no travel rookie. This is the Bourdain of the who's alive. He's out there making plans. You listen.
You know what I mean? Like that goes against like all of our, like you should wait or whatever. But if I'm traveling, I'm just going to buy my ticket because I don't want to take the chance in it either selling out or whatever.
Yeah, you do what works for you. Do what works for you, man. I say that all the time. I mean, that's just a suggestion because you're going to get in a lot cheaper, but you do what works for you, of course.
Yeah, because Eddie's a big proponent of buying the tickets the day of the show. But if you don't want to do that, man, it's cool. Mm-hmm. Like, at your own peril. Sorry. But, if you got that kind of grass, if you got that kind of green.
You got that kind of bread laying around.
If you got that kind of change in the shag rug in the back of your van, that's up to you.
But yeah, their production, everything is great, just like what you always say. But hey, thanks for taking my call, Eddie, and I appreciate you. And again, happy birthday, man.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate that. Thank you. So,
well, good call. He just said that he saw a band and they were good.
Yeah.
And the production was very good, and to say happy birthday.
And it had as much conversation about when the ticket was purchased as anything else.
So his big takeaway from the show was that it was good. And that was a 2-minute phone call on the Eddie Trunk Show. So Eddie now vamps.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate that. Thank you. So a lot there in Derek's call. So
no, there was nothing there in Derek's call.
We did. To be fair, we did take a little bit out for time, but
I would assume, Adam, that would make it worse.
It was more of a discussion about how the tickets were acquired.
Yeah,
and how if you play your cards right, you can upgrade to a suite seat, even if you bought a lawn seat.
Adam. There's no way you made it worse by taking stuff out.
Hey,
no need to explain.
Hey,
okay.
There's, I got my T-shirt when I first got in. Normally, I like to get it afterwards, so I don't have to hold on to it. But
what works for you, man. I say that all the time.
Yeah, get the T-shirt first.
Man, what happened to programs? Man, I want the nice, cool pictures of Rob Halford.
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate that. Thank you. So a lot there in Derek's call. So it's funny because I've seen now 4 times since they've reunited.
Okay, so that is a big hint. They've reunited, and you've seen them 4 times.
Mammoth and Daughtry opened up for the reunited.
But never once at their own show with all the production. Because both times it was the 2 times they played on their cruise.
Well, there's a Kiss cruise, but it can't be Kiss.
No, it's not Kiss. No, Kiss are done touring.
That I hosted.
Hardy, by the way, hosting a cruise.
Oh, yeah, that's coming up.
In a matter of months.
Yeah.
That I hosted. So I've not seen them yet in like not on a boat. And obviously in a regular setting, they've got all this pyro and this big show, but I've not yet seen the big show because it just hasn't worked out that I've been in a place that I can go.
Okay, so
they host their own cruise and their headliner?
Yeah, so it's not Rat.
Man.
It's not Poison because Poison doesn't do cruises.
Okay.
So they just got back together. So Skid Row's out.
It's not Motley Crue.
No, because John 5 would be on the show. And John 5's too in. He's too inside. So stop that. All right. Who would have gotten together? What 80s band would have just gotten back together?
Not 80s. Go back to the bill. It's Mammoth and Daughtry. What's a band?
Oh, like Hinder or like.
Now you're sniffing in the right direction.
Oh, Nickelback. No, because it's 2 syllables.
Yeah, that's one syllable.
It's 1 syllable. So
Cold.
Cold. Very young girls around Cold.
Didn't he name dropped Andrew Friedman earlier? I think Andrew Friedman played guitar for Cold for like 2 seconds.
It's 1 syllable.
It is a 1 syllable band. That would be on a bill where Daughtry would be supporting them. They've played cruises. They recently reunited because
it's a trick question because it's not 1 syllable, but they call them the Stank.
No,
so
it's not Collective Soul.
No.
Oh boy, with Pyro.
Yes.
Okay. So
this is a band that
Nickelback, Hinder,
yes.
Hoobastank, 3 Doors Down.
Yes, you're so close.
Oh yeah, real garbage.
Think of the Pyro. Think of this as a band that has absolutely embraced theatrical performances in the past.
Okay, it's not Slipknot.
It's not the Darkness.
No.
Oh boy. They've embraced Pyro in the past.
But theatrical
Fuel.
performances. No, but you're pretty close.
Okay, so I was going to say Fuel
Tonic
early on, but the production thing.
It's funny, you're missing the biggest of those bands.
Damn it!
Yeah,
I know. I don't like
this. Come on.
The reason
Fuel,
that they had to
Tonic.
reunite is their lead singer went off and did some solo stuff. Their guitar player went and played in another band for a few years.
Creed.
That is absolutely. You figured out what Eddie Trunk is talking about. Well done.
So a lot there in Derek's call.
So I got into alternative radio in 1999, and I had not paid any attention in college to anything going on in popular culture. And one of the first things it was very cool. Music Midtown, they're like, you're going to introduce this band Creed. I had no idea because they're terrible, right? So, like, we would play them on the radio, and I'd be like, this is terrible. I'd say it on the radio, this is terrible. When I first started, I'd go, this is awful. What's going on? It was almost like I was dropped. I'd been frozen and then reanimated, like, years later. It was really, like, Jimmy's Chicken Shack, like, all this stuff I'd never heard of. And I'm like, okay, big deal. I'm introducing. No one wanted to hang around for Creed, so I'm going to introduce them. 100,000 people I'm standing in front of. It's like the year 2000. Creed.
Where the hell did this come
At
from?
the height of their powers.
I mean, you can imagine if you'd never heard Creed and you get a job that you're like super excited to have, and all of a sudden, like, you have no idea. This is popular? Like, this is what people are listening to now? I was aware of like Oasis and stuff, but I had no idea Creed.
And I think Creed had like a really friendly deal. Like whoever first signed them got them like the lion's share, if not all, of their publishing and everything. So they not only sold a ton of records, they made so much money.
Yep.
Well, they were a religious band first. They were a Christian band. They sold their music at the Christian stores that were in Atlanta. So there you go. And it turned out they were not so Christian.
Well, no. I mean, there was that unfortunate incident on the bus with Kid Rock and Scott Stapp.
It was backstage, not on the bus.
Well done.
Good being the king. All right, we'll be back. The Bruins, they dropped the puck on the season tonight. Ryan Johnston is the voice of the Bruins. We'll do that for you in just a moment.
Oh.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy. Hardy on the Sports Hub.
So far, the guys, they're eager to learn and also to get better and to get back on track just the way we want them to play. So, but yeah, that's probably the biggest one.
We're Toucher and Hardy. Ryan Johnston is the voice of the Boston Bruins on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Boston Bruins in Washington tonight. The season, you just heard Marco Sturm, the new coach. This is, at least for me, a getting to know you period. There are several people on this team after a long run of consistency. This is a new era. Now, the first two lines you pretty much know, but then after that, it's kind of a crapshoot, depending on your following of the team's comings and goings at the trade deadline. Ryan Johnson, are you in Washington, D.C. right now, or are you waiting to fly out?
No, we are in Washington, D.C. We flew in yesterday afternoon and had a nice dinner out in Georgetown last night and getting ready for the game today.
Now, who do you eat with? Like the production people, or do you eat with the team? What's going on there?
Depends on the trip. Last night I just did a solo because I was hungry when we landed and wanted to get an early dinner and wanted to see some of the Panthers opener last night. So snuck out here a little bit early and just ran to a restaurant down the street and then came back to the hotel and did some prep work and watched some of the games last night.
Now, do you sit at the bar or do you get a table by yourself?
I like eating at the bar.
Yeah, you can't. At tables, you're making a very bold statement sitting alone at the table. I agree with you. Even though I don't drink anymore, I will sit. In Florida, I sat at the bar when I ate by myself.
But here's the thing, because I did this a week or two ago. I sat at a bar by myself, and I had a book with me. If I'm going to eat alone,
I did too.
I like to have a book. Do you
very intellectual?
Not really, not what I was reading. But if you then engage in conversation with anybody, then you got to like put the book away. And it's like, I don't mind talking with somebody if I'm sitting at the bar, but the book kind of tells people you don't want to talk. So you're sending mixed signals, I think.
Well, I just had trouble eating while holding the book. It was a Mexican restaurant, and I was having trouble handling the food while holding the book.
Was the book in Spanish?
No, but that would have been really, really cool and pretentious of me.
That would have been
I had a thing last night where this couple sat down next to me, even though like the bar wasn't particularly crowded. You know, I was kind of sitting off by myself, and there was another guy down the other end of the bar sitting off by himself. And this couple walks in, and they sit down literally right to my left, and proceeded to have kind of date type conversations. And I didn't really understand why they were sitting so close to me.
Did you have your keys on the bar?
I did not. I didn't have a pineapple or anything like that either.
Okay, because I've told in Hingham, if you put your keys on the bar, you're wearing a striped shirt on a certain day of the week, that people will come up and ask you to join the relationship. But that was
what a random thing, a striped shirt.
Didn't we get a call that said a striped shirt and
we
keys?
Did. We did.
I mean, that's something I'd remember.
Very strange. It's at this one restaurant. Very odd.
Where I've been, and while we were there, someone at the table said, "I think this is the swingers restaurant." But I guess it's one day a week, and at a certain time, you go in to meet the person who's going to join your couple. All right. I would imagine there's a lot of prep work to do with this team. Kind of take us through. So we know the first line. Geeky, Lindholm, and Pasternak. Kind of take us through the rest of it as we get into this season.
Yeah, so I mean, from what we kind of gather at the end of training camp and the last preseason game and what they've done here over the last couple of days of practice leading up to this, it looks like Casey Middlestat is going to be the number 2 center. That and Pavel Zacha is going to play on the wing with Victor Arvidsson on the right side. Marco Sturm had said earlier on in training camp that he, kind of sees Zacha more as a center than a wing. But he's decided to go with Middlestat as that number 2 center. Middlestat actually, I thought, played pretty well during preseason, had some really good assists. He's more of a setup guy. Hopefully, Arvidsson and Zacha can take advantage of that and can bump up their goal scoring numbers. Third line's going to be really interesting. Fraser Minton wins a spot out of training camp after getting a look at the end of last year after they acquired him at the trade deadline from Toronto. He's a young guy with a lot of promise. The fact that at his age and with as little pro experience as he's got, he's as good as he is defensively and, kind of a three-zone centerman. I think, what you hope is that he can replace essentially Charlie Coyle and the production that you got out of Coyle and that kind of defensive responsibility. And they put him between a couple of, heavy, pesky wingers in Jeannot and Asimont. That should be a really difficult line to play against. And if you saw or heard any of the press conference, the season opening press conference with management the other day, Don Sweeney, Cam Neely, they talked about, the fact that they tried to upgrade this team offensively in the offseason. They didn't get as far in that regard as they would have wanted. But one of the other kind of things that they had in their mind was they wanted this to be a tough team to play against. And there's no doubt in my mind that line's gonna be difficult if you're an opposing team. And then the fourth line is really kind of an interesting mix because Sean Corrali and Mark Kastelik are your stereotypical fourth line guys in that regard. They're going to be hard to play against. They're going to bust their asses every single shift. And then you've got Marat Husnudinov, who's, he's a smaller guy. He's a quicker guy. He's more of a skill guy than a physical guy. So I'm interested to see kind of how that mix plays out on the fourth line.
All of those guys in the bottom six you were talking about, with the exception of Minton, Scream, checking line, sandpaper, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of offense expected out of the bottom six. And it also seems like if the Bruins are going to win games, you're going to be calling a lot of 2-1 and 1-0 contests.
Yeah, that came up the other day too. And Cam Neely said, listen, we got to win games 2-1, and that's what we're going to try and do. That puts a lot of pressure on your defense, a lot of pressure on your goaltending, but that's, it should be a strength of this team in both of those regards. One of the things that we did during the preseason, if you remember, if anybody was paying attention, the game in New York early on in the preseason, where the Bruins came from 3 goals down, and Mikey Asimont scored 2 of those goals and set up the other to tie that game, and they went on to win it in overtime. Beersy and I interviewed Asimont after that win on our postgame, and he said he feels like he's got more offense in him than his previous teams have let him really showcase. He kind of feels like maybe he's been pigeonholed into being, a third or fourth line guy and just a checking wing, and they don't really rely on him to score. He seems to think that he can do more of that. And so, this will be his opportunity is, on a team that will be needing everyone to chip in offensively as much as possible. He's going to get those opportunities. And Minton is a guy as a center who's not, listen, he's not a top scoring guy at this point in his career, but I think they hope that he grows into that. And so maybe they, the two of them together can kind of help each other in the offensive zone.
What are the expectations people have for this team? What's realistic as things get underway? Is this like a team that's looking to sneak into like an 8th spot? Is this a team that is better than people think? Style of play, like what do you predict as the voice of the Boston Bruins?
Well, what I predict versus what other people are predicting are probably two different things. I think this team does have the talent if they play the right way, and if their team plays to their level, meaning all of the players kind of hit their marks and play the Marco Sturm style here. I think they've got a shot of making the playoffs. Now, I've seen over the last few days, a lot of the other media outlets are coming out with their predictions as to how teams are going to be, and the analytics people are weighing in as to who's got the best shots of making the playoffs. There's not a lot of faith in this team out there. And, and who knows, maybe that helps them in the early going. Maybe teams start overlooking them a little bit. Listen, over the course of 82 games, a lot of things will happen. A lot of, injuries around the league. A lot of guys, some guys will play above their heads. Some guys will play below their levels. And so it's difficult to predict. I think this can be a playoff team. I really do. But it's going to require, their power play and penalty kill are going to need to be better and probably a lot better than they were last year. Pasternak and Geekie and Lindholm are going to have to produce Pasta and Geekie are going to have to produce at levels that they did last year, and Lindholm is going to need to be better than he was last year. I think Arvidsson's going to have a good year. One of the new faces on this team. I think you're going to need the defense to chip in offensively more than you've had maybe in years past. And you're going to need Jeremy Swayman to be at his best night in and night out. Are all those things possible? Sure. Are the Bruins, one of the top teams in the Atlantic Division or one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference? No. But, can they compete at that kind of mid-level and compete for a wild card? Absolutely.
All right. Well, you'll be able to hear that game tonight, 7:30, right here on your home of the Bruins, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Brian Johnston and Bob Beers will be calling that thing. Yeah,
sorry, Ryan. Is there anything like just to be watchful for at the start of his season, trend-wise in the NHL? Like, does goaltending tend to need more time to ramp up, or are the goalies generally ahead of, say, the shot makers and the goal scorers?
That's a good question. I might have to do a little research on that today.
It's like the pitching versus the hitting at the start of the baseball season. I wonder if there's any, if I just want to be on the lookout. If Swayman looks really good tonight, I'm not falling into the trap of, goalies tend to look better at the start of the season because the guys really don't have their legs yet, and the goal scorers aren't, in top form yet, or maybe it's the other way around. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, one would think that, the goalies you get worn down over the course of a season. So, in the early part of the season, they would be at their freshest. And both Swayman and Korpisalo, I thought, looked really good during the preseason. So that's, something that you would hope you'd get right out of the gate that the Bruins didn't get last year. I remember, opening night down in Florida last year, where the defense looked porous and the goaltending was not great right out of the chute. And, that was supposed to be one of the strengths of the team going into the season. And I remember Beersy and I kind of looking at each other during that game going, oof, this is not what was advertised. So, hopefully it's a little bit better start from that regard tonight.
All right. Well, Ryan Johnston, looking forward to it and looking forward to you talking to us throughout the season. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Appreciate it. There you go. The great Ryan Johnston. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, we were just talking about it. Bruins open up their regular season tonight on the road against the Washington Capitals. Ryan Johnston, who you just heard there, and Bob Beers are back for their second season. We'll have the pregame at 7 and the face-off at 7:30 right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots players had yesterday off. They'll be back on the field at practice down in Foxborough this afternoon. They'll visit New Orleans on Sunday. Celtics preseason begins tonight in Memphis against the Grizzlies. Yesterday, Jason Tatum was named as a special advisor to Duke head basketball coach Sean Shire. And at the Major League Baseball playoffs, the Yankees beat Toronto 9-6 to avoid being swept. Blue Jays still lead that best of 5, 2-1. Also, the Blue Jays lead 2-1. And in Detroit, Seattle beat the Tigers 8-4 to take a 2-1 series lead. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the DeMoore McKim School of Business at Northeastern University, where MBA and master's degree students build vital business skills through experience. Connect at northeastern.edu/business. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8 o'clock.
We're Toucher and Hardy. Listen at the end of this segment for your chance to win tickets to see Nine Inch Nails at the TD Garden. We will have that for you coming up at the end of this segment. The great Nine Inch Nails are back and touring.
Got this music here from the Tron Ares soundtrack, the new Tron movie. Will you go and see that film
No.
with your daughter? No. Not into science fiction, she?
I don't like science fiction, and also I don't understand why they remade Tron. Tron was stupid in the first time, and I don't know why. There's this infantile nerd thing where everything has to be old. It reminds you of your youth. I don't understand.
So many unanswered questions from Tron 2. They needed a third one.
It's just like this kind of romanticizing of like 1982. That, anything science fiction has to be redone because it gives people warm feelings.
And you kind of can't win because when you go back to that well to appease that audience, it seems that there's always a swath of them that aren't happy with it. You cast the wrong actors or you didn't tell the story the right way. So it seems like there's no winning. Now, obviously, there is. They obviously make a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, they're
continuing to do this.
It's the South Park member berries.
Remember
when Luke cups open the Tauntaun, yeah.
Remember that?
Remember that? Like it's that, and it's very like sci-fi. Like so, there. It seems like this masturbatory, like all adolescent. Living in adolescence that needs these movies to come back out.
But I'm a big fan of what they've done with the Alien franchise and like gone and done like really deep into the origins of it with Prometheus.
Loved it.
So good.
Are you going to watch Alien Earth? Have you watched Alien Earth?
I'm like 2-3 episodes.
How is it?
It's good.
Okay.
And again, it's like this. It's like a full-on explanation where the standalone Alien movie is just a great horror film.
Yeah.
And you just, you go back and you think, all right, how much of this did they have in their mind and how much of it did they say, okay, this was in the first movie, now we have to explain this. What the hell was that original, spacecraft? What is that big guy in the all right, well, let's have this whole narrative where it's, spoiler alert, creating life on Earth. And then they decide they need to destroy that life. And it's like, all right, this is kind of interesting. It's, it serves as almost like an allegory by the time you get done watching all this stuff. And it's really good. I find that more interesting than just rebooting or restarting or picking up where it left off. No, go back and, tell me a story. Is there a good story involved here? And the alien stuff ends up being a really good story as opposed to just remaking or rebooting.
Well, so Alien was a good movie. Like, it was considered a good movie. I've never seen it.
It still is.
It's considered a very good movie.
The cast is insane, too, when you consider it's a science fiction movie.
So that wouldn't apply to what I'm saying, is that Tron was garbage, but it had this niche of young, like, male fans that now are adults with income and the money to spend, and they want to spend their time like remembering something that wasn't, if that makes any sense. We all romanticize our youth. We all do that. But if you're like a sci-fi nerd, John, you're like kind of like stuck in that suspended adolescence. I think it's like a lot of like porn on the internet and like toys and, living in that, like you have a room in your house that's like toys because you can get in there and feel like you're a kid again. It's the Disney adult thing. It's just, I don't, that doesn't appeal to me. I wish it did. I wish that when I see people that are into something, I always go, though, I wish I was that into it, but it doesn't connect with me.
But you got to be able to put up a shelf first before you can have a shelf full of memorabilia and trinkets.
Well, I don't think that all of them put together their own Dungeons and Dragon play tables. I have to imagine an engineer is brought in at some point, at least a handyman, to hang the shelves.
I'll still help you if you want me to.
Every time I see those boxes, if I notice them, because Hardy came over to help me put together my bed months ago, maybe a year ago, and he saw that I had unopened boxes of shelves in my living room, and he thought that not only was sad in that I couldn't put them up, but sad because it just showed like divorced man.
Oh,
like he just kind of haphazardly moved into this condo.
More than anything, it would drive me nuts to have unopened boxes sitting in my main living space.
So when I moved into that place, it was sort of leaving Las Vegas, but with home goods. Like, you're filling up a house from scratch.
You're pushing the cart down the aisle instead of putting fits of tequila in there. You're putting in
boxes,
placemats.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know what home goods was. And so now you have to build everything. Like you have to fill a kitchen. You have to fill 2 kids' rooms. You have to, and that was what my priority was the kids' rooms. So those were like legit. Milo is very, I don't know, meticulous.
Yeah.
And so his room looks like a Hall of Fame, like because all this stupid memorabilia we got that I didn't know what it was going to be. So he's got like an attic that looks like the Hall of Fame. I had for Zoe's birthday, I had an interior decorator like come in and help her like decorate her room. It wasn't like some big, huge project, but so that was my goal. And then my bed, I didn't even have like the right bed. I just had my room still depressing because you got to fill, 3,000 square feet of the home with all new stuff. I didn't really take much from my old house. And she got rid of everything and she redid everything at the old house. She wanted me out of there as much as possible.
If she's just going to get rid of the stuff, why weren't you allowed to take some of that stuff?
It wasn't like anything that I really wanted, and I just kind of didn't want to deal with it. Like it wasn't. I kind of was enjoying, in a way, like having the
new
canvas of which to do.
Well, you pick your palette, and you kind of work off of that.
Like you go to Best Buy. And you get to like buy 2 TVs. Like when was the last time you got to do that? Like and now I'm like, and TVs are cheap now, so you can get like the coolest one, right? Like so you get like a big TV, and that's rewarding for 5 minutes. You just having the wherewithal as an adult to fill a home was rewarding to me because at least it checked off a box that I'm not completely incompetent. Like I was able. I wasn't a divorced guy living in a motel with my kids sleeping in the same bed.
You were able to pick out and buy an end table. And
well, I just bought a new end table, in fact, at Home Goods to put on the other side of the couch in the basement. So, yeah.
No big
We've been tinkering. You know what's funny is I had Stephanie, my ex-wife, pick out the furniture with me because I needed a woman to like do something. So she actually came with me. She's the one who picked out the window treat, like the stuff for the windows because I couldn't be there. So like my ex-wife, I leaned on to like help with furniture, not the kids' rooms and not the basement. That's the cave.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's the man cave.
With that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I got foosball and ping pong and all kinds of stuff. I got bumper pool. I got anything you want.
Pool.
Yeah. It's a real playpen.
What was the last time you actually saw a fully functioning bumper pool table?
1977.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's in the back of my subconscious.
Rob Bolston's house. He had a bumper pool table. That's awesome.
I'm old enough where we had a kid in my neighborhood that no one liked, but we'd go over to his house because he had stand-up video games. And this is so very quickly. So we would go like, so-and-so, I can't even remember the kid's name, but so-and-so was so rich. They have 2 video games, and we would all say that. And one time, my friends and I were sitting around, and we're like, they're all rich, and my dad just had it, and he goes, "That doesn't effing mean anything. What the hell are you people talking about? A stupid video game?" He's like, "That's stupid. That doesn't mean they have any money. It just means they're dumb." And then my dad put his foot down in front of my friend.
Yeah, your dad was kind of right.
He didn't know if the kid whose house it was there. He didn't know what was going on. But he just had heard enough dumb.
You guys are all stupid.
Yeah, he had heard enough dumb. That's it.
Take your stupid self somewhere else.
That was my father. He had, and it's definitely rubbed out on me. He'd heard enough dumb. He was not afraid to tell me, this is enough. You're wrong, and it's enough. Get your facts straight. And then he would go upstairs in his underwear. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Just Bill Belichick keeps having things happen, and we can't ignore it. So we will revisit that. Caller number 10 to the contest line, 617-931-0985 will score a pair of tickets to see Nine Inch Nails at the TD Garden on February 13th. Tickets go on sale today at noon at Ticketmaster.com.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
This just in, hot off the bench press. Planet Fitness has expanded strength equipment. Join the club today for $1 down.
sports, the games. It's Toucher and Hardy, Zolak and Bertrand, Felger and Maz, Joe Murray. For Boston sports fans, it's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
After going 4-1-1 during the preseason, the Bruins finally will begin to play games that count starting tonight. Last year, Cam Neely's team missed the playoffs for the first time since 2016, and they also finished last in their division for the first time since 2007.
All with last year, we know we need to be better, and that's our mission, is to be better.
They'll visit the Washington Capitals in the opener of a back-to-back to start things. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7 and the face-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots visit New Orleans this Sunday. The players will be back at practice this afternoon. The Cleveland Browns yesterday traded quarterback Joe Flacco to Cincinnati along with a 6th-round pick in exchange for a 5th-round selection. The NFL has fined Dallas owner Jerry Jones $250,000. This is after he flipped off Jets fans near the end of a Cowboys road win last weekend. The Celtics' 4-game preseason schedule begins tonight in Memphis. And at the baseball playoffs, the Yankees came back from down 6-1 early. They beat Toronto 9-6. That forces a Game 4 of that best-of-5 playoff series tonight. Also, Seattle beat Detroit 8-4 to take a 2-1 series lead in that best-of-5. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Wilbur. Boston Chris DiStefano will be in town for 3 unforgettable shows. Catch him at the Chevalier Theater this Friday, October 10th, and at the Wilbur this Thursday, October 9th, and Saturday, October 11th. For tickets and more information, visit thewilbur.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Are you actually coaching the game, or it's just
that is? I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
The Sports.
And now back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
They're out to the alumni or the boosters of North Carolina, basically just fumigating the program, Agent Oranging it. Just saying that we took 70 transfers. Basically, they suck. We have 40 incoming freshmen, which is a huge recruiting class, and they suck. And we're going to suck. And then he made some weird analogy to the 76ers, trust the process. He did some phony poser filleting of, what was Roy Williams? Who was
Larry Brown.
Larry Brown. So, like, it just, and if you're a booster, that means you're successful because you have the ridiculous notion of using your income and using your money to pay for a football team to watch, which is ridiculous. You buy tickets, you watch it on TV. I don't understand giving them money. It just seems like give it to charity. What the hell are you giving money to a football team for? But obviously they're smart enough to have made that money. So I highly doubt you're outfoxing them, Mr. Lombardi, with your long-ass quotes from Bill Walsh. We understand you had a low-level position under Bill Walsh. Congratulations. It's like saying I was an intern for Howard Stern. Now I'm Howard Stern. No, you had a low-level position for a good guy. That means nothing. His career sucks. And he's a real dope. But nonetheless, North Carolina football, which even when they cheat, it does not raise the pulse of the nation. This is the first time in my lifetime that I have heard of North Carolina football this much, and it's all negative. And this is a news report out of the home. I don't know if it's Charlotte or what it is, but this is a local news report about Bill Belichick's program.
Breaking right now at 6, a divided locker room, disaster on the football field, and claims of a disorganized mess behind the scenes.
Now, who would have thought this was what was going to be the news story 4 games into his tenure?
This is leading the 6 o'clock news.
Right. And when was the last time that North Carolina football led the 6 o'clock news, and it was a national story, like a big national story? I understand that there have been controversies with the program before, but they weren't being talked about on Good Morning America.
Yeah.
I mean, they were low-level team doing stupid hijinks. This is and you don't hire Bill Belichick for $10 million of taxpayer money to have a disorganized mess and a disaster on the field. Everyone take yourself back to 7 years ago. This would have been unimaginable that he flamethrowed his entire legacy like this. And by the way, the Hulu documentary that they were making, we'll get to it in a minute.
Another story.
But they pulled that, the one that Trouble Cub, his girlfriend, so carefully negotiated and slyly maneuvered around. And Mike Lombardi put down Hard Knocks because it was an embarrassment. And so they sign this deal and get these cameras around, and she's orchestrating everything. And they start filming this Hulu thing, and now they backed out because it was so bad.
Cameras actually found what this news report is saying, that it's disorganized and players can't stand each other. And
Yeah, so it would be a forever document of this inner workings of a disaster, which would be a great documentary. So if they were truly documentarians,
I'd watch every second of that.
Oh my God, it would have been
awesome.
Heaven on earth. It would have been a huge hit too. But of course, the hubris and the lack of any self-reflection doesn't allow for that.
Only on WREL, this is just the start of the problems for Bill Belichick and North Carolina football.
Parents and players point to a sea of culture problems as the team was blown out this weekend by Clemson in their ACC opener.
Yeah, I'm hearing there's no culture, no organization. It is a complete disaster.
Well, that doesn't sound good at all.
Not a lot of gray area there.
No, that sounds like all very bad things.
Correct.
I mean, and this is the hard-hitting media of North Carolina. I mean, this is like the Globe of the 70s. I mean, this is a real hard hitters. I wonder how often they refer to the local sports programs as this.
Yeah, I'm hearing there's no culture, no organization. It is a complete disaster.
Yeah, and I wonder how that happened when you're going to the boosters and crapping on your current players. How you think this is all going to pan out? Again, you're a kid. They paid $2 million to a quarterback who's not playing. They crap on all the old recruiting classes, but they're playing a kid that was part of the team. So none of what everything. It's just like he thinks he's outfoxing the alumni by saying, like, we inherited a crappy roster. Well, that's your quarterback. The kid you paid. I'm not making it up. It's not an inflated figure. They paid a quarterback $2 million to play football. They had plenty of money. With NIL and the transfer portal being wide open, there's no excuse not to put a competitive team on the field. Competitive. No one expected them to win the ACC, but a competitive team.
Be at least as good as last season.
Right. If you have $2 million to spend on a quarterback, that quarterback should be starting for you, or you shouldn't have spent the $2 million. He had every opportunity, and every excuse is just weak. And just eat it. Shut up and eat it. And that's what, at least Belichick wouldn't say anything. He'd just be a dick. But Lombardi's out there trying to massage this and trying to talk as if, like, guys, I got this. Like, you have to understand. No, you don't. And keep your mouth shut. Everything you say is digging the hole deeper. Just, he's so dumb. And Belichick is so dumb to have him be his mouthpiece. Who would have heard him over the last...
But not just the mouthpiece, the guy who is out there selecting the players and finding the talent because, they've been so invested in college football and recruiting and watching these high school kids for years? No, they hopped in at the kind of last second and figured, again, with the hubris, they'd be able to figure it out. Oh, I can go identify a player. It doesn't matter that I just started doing this 3 weeks ago. We'll figure it out.
So if you wanted to be transparent, you make a good point. Wouldn't you just say, look, we're trying to build a culture. We're not going to use the transfer portal to try to fix holes. This is our first recruiting class.
Right.
We're going to build it from the ground up.
Right. And just like cards on the table. We know football. We know how to build a team. We've got a little catch up to do when it comes to recruiting and getting some of these kids here and seeing what's out there. So it's going to take some time, but we're going to build the culture first, and the talent thing, that's a learning curve for us.
Or we like the team that we have, but it's going to take a while to install our values and culture and teach what we need to teach. Give us some time. So you're not crapping on the kids you have now.
Right.
You're just saying under the knowledge that we're building a culture. If you started with that, then none of this would be happening.
It sounds to me like, and I think you guys are right, it sounds to me like the University of North Carolina was sold something else by Belichick when they hired him.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the reason for this urgency.
Yeah, I can outcoach
we're tired
these
of being
guys.
6-6 and insignificant. Coach, can you get us an 8-9 wins? Well, sure, I can do that by next year. Look at my resume.
You're 73 years old. You can't build a culture. I mean, people would make fun of that because, like, he's old. And, like, what kind of culture are you going to build in your 70s? But at least you can dismiss that as, like, you don't know what you're talking about. But when you go out and spend millions of dollars on a team and then turn around and say that, whoops-a-daisies, this isn't our fault, well, that's just a lie.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't think this was going to happen, Lombardi. Like, you did not. If you wanted to be transparent, you don't say this 3 games into the season. You say it before the season starts.
Those are the kind of quotes I'm getting from sources with firsthand knowledge of the inner workings of Bill Belichick's football program. So we talked to players, parents, members of the coaching staff, the board of trustees, and the athletic department to try to paint a complete picture of what's going on behind the scenes here. According to sources, a divide formed naturally when Belichick was hired. Background players versus the transfers. The way Belichick has run the program hasn't bridged the gap. It's only made it grow. According to multiple sources, UNC has a divided locker room, a disorganized staff, and an overall failure to communicate. A divide is natural when you have Mac Brown-era players and the 70 new ones Belichick brought in.
Like, why bring in 70 players? And do you know that he doesn't let the players that aren't on the active roster dress? Like, he doesn't let them put on, like, a uniform? So you're practicing with North Carolina football, but on game days, like, you're in the stands. But his girlfriend's on the sidelines. Great optics. He's running it like an NFL team, you see.
Yes.
A very, very bad NFL
33rd
team.
NFL team.
But according to sources, preferential treatment and a lack of leadership has added to the discontent. One source said they don't fault the players. They fault the leadership that created this toxic environment. There's an individualistic mindset. Here are the example sources shared with us. Some players and their parents have better parking and stadium access on game days. Players who miss class and meetings aren't being held accountable.
Which, by the way, now the NCAA is investigating this because you're not allowed to give players access to the sidelines, their families access to the sidelines.
And specifically, it's a couple of players who came over with Steve Belichick from his old school.
From Washington.
Yes.
So that was – Lombardi can throw his hands up now and say – look, these aren't my guys.
Yeah,
these are Steve's guys. Which shows their organization. We told you during the offseason, by the way, that we had heard that in that front office, in quotations, there was an incident where one of the Belichicks didn't know that Lombardi had gotten a kid or vice versa, and there was a little bit of like, why is this kid here? Why did we pay for him? Which I suppose would happen when you're adding 70 players to a roster. Which they did just to have an excuse. Like that seems highly unnecessary to transfer in 70 kids.
How many kids did Dion add when he showed up in Colorado?
2 that mattered.
I know, but what I'm saying is it's something like that. I mean, this is the blueprint that Belichick's apparently trying to work off of.
I'm glad you brought Deion Sanders up because he did, what was it? 1. More than they had been.
If they were 4-8 the first season, and then they flipped it the second season.
Yeah, but when they had all that attention and all that juice
Deion
at Colorado,
sold it a hell of a lot better than Bill did.
And
I
also,
agree.
they were competing in games. It was a disaster program when he took over.
And actually, they beat TCU to start the season.
Right, remember that?
Yes, I
Absolutely.
do.
I mean, they weren't getting blown out in every game. There was things he couldn't fill, like the offensive line and stuff like that. But, I mean, and I know it was his kid, but millions of dollars will get a Shedeur Sanders.
The Dion playbook is obviously what Bill and Mike Lombardi are working off of. The difference is Dion is fantastic at selling his program.
Yeah, he's
all the stuff
charismatic
online
guy.
About, remember all the people that work here, you got to go to class, all that stuff, all the social media stuff. Bill does nothing of that. Is gruff, doesn't talk to the media, doesn't cut. Like, if you took a look at Dion and all the coaches shows that he did in Boulder during his season there, packed restaurant, answering questions, talking with the host. Bill does it. Mike Lombardi answers all the questions, and Bill grunts while sitting to Lombardi's left. I mean, the difference between those two things. Now, North Carolina may very well go 4-8. And you know what? That 4-8 season is a crap ton worse than Dion's 4-8. his first season.
Well, I mean,
and Dion, like you said, ingratiated himself not only to the fans,
he
but
was doing bits on Good Morning America, for God's sake.
And I'm guessing to the players' parents too, which the talk about in this piece, how the parents have had no contact with them. So, for the first few weeks, the Mac Brown kids who stayed. Like, oh, I'd like to meet the new coach. No, that's not going to be happening.
It's interesting. All Bill had to do was smile a couple of times and shake hands. He could be on Good Morning America. He's just as famous as Dion.
He was on Good Morning America.
That hard-hitting Strahan
It didn't go well.
That's right, the Strahan interview. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was, again,
Disaster.
good PR.
God.
To just gloss over everything that was going on.
Little effort. Oh, man.
And again, it's not overly difficult, especially now, to just be accountable and just admit it. Like, just if you put your cards on the table and you haven't committed a crime, Jesus, even if you have committed crimes, look what's going on. Very little retribution for anything if you just admit you did it.
Players are selling their spare game tickets rather than sharing them with teammates. The non-travel roster players don't get to dress for home games, something you might see from an NFL practice player, but not in college football, adding to an overall lack of unity within the team.
And that's the thing is that, like, if you practice with the kids, like, you're friends with the kids, and then they don't even, so you have to put in all that work, and you don't even get to put on a uniform and be a part of the team. I don't understand the advantage of not doing that. Just to make people feel bad.
Yeah, you're
like a sick perversion of creating misery.
You've got 30 Rudies sitting around there that are just out there getting beat up for like no end in sight.
Yeah, and just you can't even stand on the sideline during the game. Like, if Ohio State does it, if Alabama does it, like, why? What is the reason for not doing that other than cruelty?
Parents say they have zero communication with coaches and were asked not to approach Bill Belichick, a stark contrast from the open-door approach of Mac Brown.
Yeah, don't talk to him. You can talk to Jordan if you're lucky.
One source said the lack of experience the coaches have is ridiculous. Belichick himself has been praised by multiple sources for his one-on-one coaching. It's his ability to run the program that's being questioned by parents and players. One source said, Bill shuts people out. He's limited in what he says.
Oh, I find that hard to believe.
No evidence of that.
Tough.
It's almost like he's a self-involved idiot.
Whose quarterback is the same age as his girlfriend.
And one quarterback's not playing and making $2 million.
Chancellor Lee Roberts preached patience when discussing Belichick at a Board of Trustees meeting last week. Even after the Clemson loss, the feeling within the UNC athletic department remains the same. Given the investment they've made, patience is the path.
Yeah, given the buyout of the contract, patience is the path. You would have to admit and pay him millions of dollars to go away. And you'd have to admit it was a total failure.
But they also understand that they hired Belichick knowing he didn't have college experience. They would like to help support Belichick and the players. Belichick needs to be willing to receive it at the same time. Overall, the feeling from sources is that the little points of division have become big, and you're seeing it now on the field. You don't need anonymous sources to tell you there's no energy, very little communication on the sidelines. You can see it with your own eyes. We've reached out to Belichick's PR staff. They chose not to comment.
You reached out, huh?
Shocking.
Good for you.
Reached out to Trouble Cup.
He did reach out to Trouble Cup. By the way, reports Mike Lombardi has been described by multiple sources as rude and nasty. Nobody likes him.
Yeah, well.
Who would have thought that based on his interviews?
I feel we have been robbed of not being able to watch this thing on Hulu. That was going to be something that not only we could have just watched and enjoyed, but talked about. I mean, just imagine, Fred. Imagine what that Hulu thing would have been like.
Fall camp has arrived for 70 new Tar Heel student athletes. And for head coach Bill Belichick, it's time to address his team for the first time. It's time to educate. It's time to inspire. Making connections between the staff and players is a chief priority. Enter Michael Lombardi. He speaks the language of youth and relates to them in a familiar, non-condescending way.
I know way more about this.
I'm just working on my to-do list, but I do it on the typewriter.
Outside the walls of North Carolina's football compound, the fans are gearing up for what they hope will be one of the most exciting seasons ever.
No. They bringing a loser to another loser town. Tar Heel is a loser.
Who did the voice?
It's out there in the ether somewhere.
All right. There you go. Amos.
I don't care.
I wonder how much mileage Lombardi's gotten out of people thinking he was Vince Lombardi's kid.
Oh.
That seems to be maybe an explanation for this stuff.
Lombardi's son is the quarterback's coach. Is that right?
San Francisco, I want to say. Does that sound right?
Well, Lombardi's son is on the staff.
Yeah, but talking about the lack of experience on the coaches, the linebackers coach was an analyst and a grad student somewhere before this, and the cornerbacks coach was working as like in the recruiting office somewhere out in California or something. So I don't know that they've done like any coaching now, and now they're coaching two sneaky important positions on a football team: linebacker and cornerback. And that's who you bring in. And I know Bill is, the defensive guy, and so is Steve. But if you've got these are your two main contacts with the players that haven't really done the coaching thing before, no wonder it's not going well.
No, it's a disaster, and it was not my intention to talk about this today, but the news just keeps breaking. And, just Bill Belichick's insistence of having a hype man who's a complete fool and an ass is really, really confusing. It just, you put a guy as your spokesman, you have a PR person that's a 24-year-old idiot, and then you have a hype man who's a 70-year-old moron, and you just, because you won't talk, you have these other people speaking for you, and you picked two of the worst people on the entire planet who've done nothing but lay waste to your legacy. All right, Alex Barth will be joining us to talk about the Patriots for the rest of the hour. And I have had many offers to become an insider.
Can you keep doing it? You know what I mean? Can you add the consistency, the preparation as this thing starts to wear on and your body starts to feel less than ideal? That's kind of, this is a long haul here. We're just past the quarter pole here. We got a long way to go.
We are Toucher and Hardy. Alex Barth covers all things sports for 98.5thesportshub.com, but he's big into the Patriots, and he has been vindicated as the Patriots have gone into Buffalo on Sunday night and a big upset win. And it was a Drake May coming out party nationally. Did that performance surprise you? It was, he led a game-winning drive. He showed his athleticism. He didn't turn the ball over. What did you see out of him?
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said it didn't surprise me a little bit in the sense that, he was so good in the spots he really had to be in his first primetime game. But big picture, I got asked this a lot in the summer, and I'm sure you guys talked about this as well. I'd get questions. Well, why are you so insistent about Drake May? Why are you so sure Drake May's the guy? He's only won one start. He had all these turnovers. And it was there were flashes of things he could do at a very high level that admittedly were just flashes, and he wasn't necessarily doing them consistently. But, 22 years old, 23 years old, I'm like, the consistency will come if you just give it time. That game was what I saw. That game was what me and others, I'm not alone in this, pictured is if he can string it together and do some of these impressive things he's doing consistently and cut down on the bad decisions, that's what it's going to look like. So I wasn't surprised in the big picture, but to be that clean in that spot is very impressive for a first-time primetime game.
All right, go ahead.
No, I mean, I thought so too, and it's, the plays and some of the downfield throws, they weren't all there. They wasn't perfect, but the fact that he wasn't making those mistakes. And right. There could have been one on that final drive, the throw that you kind of pointed out, Fred, when we were talking about it on Monday morning, man, that's risky. You didn't necessarily have to force that one in there. I think it was Diggs on the comeback there when they were driving toward the end. But the other throws he was making, he showed a lot of poise. He showed just enough patience at times, and he didn't make that forced throw into coverage that ended up, resulting in a huge turnover or a huge mistake. That's what was impressive.
Yeah, I think it's as much about what he didn't do as what he did do, Hardy.
Yes.
That's a good point, that you didn't have a lot of those moments where you're holding your breath and clenching your fists, and it looked...
He sailed one or two, which, we've seen him do before, and I don't know if he's just too juiced up, but it wasn't, again, they didn't result in interceptions, number one, and number two, you didn't see him forcing anything.
Everything looked a lot more slowed down for him. He just looked comfortable. He looked in rhythm. At no point, because there's been times in the past where we've watched him. I said this last year. His game last season looked like he had this internal monologue for 60 minutes of, fine, I'll do it myself kind of thing, right? And this was, the first time for a full 60 minutes. He's done it again in spurts, but where I watched him, he just seemed almost relaxed, if that sort of made sense. It was just like get in the back of the pocket,
like
get to the back
foot,
make the throw. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, he looked like a professional NFL quarterback, like a veteran professional NFL quarterback. Right, that poise. Go ahead.
I'm wondering, how much do we buy into now the hype that has come all the way back the other way about the Patriots? The Patriots are mediocre. Drake May forces passes. Now they have this big win in Buffalo. Defense is making plays. Marcus Jones made a big one. Stephon Diggs looked a lot more like the Diggs of old. And now people are like, oh, watch out. Watch out. The AFC is weak. They can make some noise. How much do you buy into all of this?
I mean, some. So what I said before about Drake May, with you see the flashes and you get the consistency, I think that applies to this team as a whole. What you saw, what was so impressive to me about that game was they didn't really have to do anything gimmicky or out of the box to win it. They went in and played their game. You get a feeling, you look at the additions they've made the last few years, Drake May, Will Campbell, Christian Gonzalez, Stephon Diggs, Milton Williams, guys like that. That game, I feel like, is kind of the vision for what they're building. And there's some things they could clean up. They didn't run the ball well, and you're going to need to score more than 23 points at times. But I think they didn't go in, like, it wasn't Mac Jones throwing 3 passes in the wind. They went in and they played their game. So for me now, just like with any young player, with any young team, it's consistency. They haven't shown that level in at least 2 or 3 years. And we now know they have it. And frankly, I think they've shown it 2 weeks in a row. I think the Carolina game was a well-played game. Obviously, it's a different projection up against a worse team, but it's how consistently can they be that team? And that's what separates the good teams and the bad teams in the NFL. Do you play your best game 2 or 3 times a year, 7 or 8 times a year, 10 or 12 times a year? So, they're going to have some games, I think, where they slide back just by being the nature of them being a young team. But you look at what Vrabel's done, the culture he's established. He's somebody you lean on here that can they consistently be that team? If they can play that game 8, 9, 10 times this year out of 17 games, that should make them a playoff team.
Yeah, the AFC is, with all the injuries and everything, is wide open. But you seem to agree with Callahan. Callahan seems to think like, look, they're going to drop one of these next 3 games, and don't freak out because that's the NFL. And, on paper, like going into Tennessee is a win, but in reality, these things get muddy and these things get murky. I mean, look at Baltimore.
Carolina beat Atlanta 30-0.
Yeah, and then they got rolled by you. So, like, there are weeks where you're just not going to have it. It sounds like you're of that mind, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be, because I think, again, with a young team, there's bound to be mistakes. And the other thing, like, knock on wood, they've had very good injury luck, and there's still a lot of spots where the depth worries me. So, you lose a couple guys. Antonio Gibson's going to be, I think, a bigger injury than people realize.
We'll get into that in just a moment. Yeah,
there's that element to it, but can they be that team more often than not? If they might slip up once or twice, yeah, and like Callahan said, that's just going to happen, especially with a young team, and that's life in the NFL. But you see what they can be. When everything's going right, you see what they can be, and it's just how much can they maintain that.
Okay, so let's get into the running back situation. With Gibson being hurt, he seemed to be getting carries from Ramondre Stevenson. Stevenson fumbles again on Sunday night. They seem to be kind of phasing him out in some aspects. I mean, I know that there was like an attitude first play of the game handoff in the Carolina game. But nonetheless, he's got a fumbling problem.
Yes.
And Gibson was going to take some carries away from him, and now he's gone. So this is, I agree with you, it's certainly interesting. How do you play this now with the lack of depth at the running back position? Like, how do you, now that you've lost your third running back, like, how do you juggle the carries, and how much of a leash do you give to Stevenson?
So the wild card here is Travion Henderson.
Yeah.
Because you took this guy in the second round, and ideally it's okay. We're going to ramp him up. He's going to become our top running back. Stevenson's going to be the spellback, and we'll go from there. But it's still a little fast for him, and he's still struggling to really be productive. I see people talk about playing him more. He's second on the team in carries, neck and neck with Stevenson. I think it's like 3 or 4 less. Same with touches. He's playing a decent-sized share of the snaps. It just doesn't feel like it because the production's not there that some people maybe expected after his impressive preseason. It can still come. It can still click, and you do want to still put him out there to let him learn, and maybe his workload increases a little bit. But
that's a bad sign. You're clamoring for him to play more. It's like, oh, he's actually be playing more than you think. You just don't notice.
That's bad. Yeah.
Right. So that's, do you turn to him and just think, all right, if we, keep giving him the ball, eventually it'll click, and maybe there is some of that. Do you lean on Stevenson? Because he has been good around the fumbles, which also makes it tricky. It's not like he's fumbling and he's not creating. Like, he's responsible for a good number of their explosive plays and their important plays. They could go, sign JaMychal Hasty off the Dolphins practice squad or add Terrell Jennings, and that guy can be a third back and do 5 to 7 touches a game, and it's 50-50 Stevenson and Henderson. But you're putting a lot on Henderson now, and that's still not taking that much away from Stevenson with his fumbling. If you want to go get like a true RB2, now you're probably looking at the trade market and things get more complicated. And the other side of this, they also need a new kick returner because Gibson was doing that and doing that well. They put Stevenson back there last week. I don't love that in the long term as an emergency thing, like fine, whatever.
So Henderson would seem to be the guy.
There's two.
Yeah, so you have Henderson on one side, but they always kick away from Henderson.
They kick away from him. So they tried something last week where they switched him. But
so maybe they wouldn't notice.
The other guy, well, I think they did it late. The other guy is important. So that's where, again, I go back to JaMychal Hasty. He was their kick returner last year. You could go obviously outside the running back position to do that, but we've seen through 5 weeks with the new kickoff rules, that's an important position. You need production out of that spot So you're looking at a 65 to 70-yard field instead of an 80 to 85-yard field.
End of the
in front of you.
game, now that people can make 65-yard field goals, that's a big thing. You get that out to the 35, you need a first down and a half. I don't like it. I don't like Pittsburgh getting away with it. I don't like it. All right, but that's a big thing, and that's something that they're going to miss because no one's ever going to kick to Henderson.
Right.
Because everyone sees what Henderson can do. And that is a good point. The new kickoff rule is it's really changing the game, especially the end of games. It's crazy with the legs these kickers have. How you get the ball with 25 seconds left, you have a chance to tie or win with a 65-yard field goal.
Well, I'm glad that the teams figured out. Everybody was trying that dirty kick at the end of games. The Patriots did it at Miami, and nobody could execute it. And I'm pulling my hair out. Just kick it deep. Just cover it, because now you're starting them at the 40, and that's a really short field.
Yeah. All right. Look, Alex is going to stay with us. Alex Barth is here. We'll continue talking Patriots. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines, presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins will begin their regular season tonight on the road against the Washington Capitals. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7 and the face-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The home opener is tomorrow night against Chicago. Patriots players had yesterday off. They'll be back at practice this afternoon. They are beginning to get ready for a road game against New Orleans this Sunday. The quarterback-desperate Cincinnati Bengals yesterday sent a fifth-round draft pick to Cleveland in exchange for Joe Flacco and a sixth-round pick. Celtics playing Memphis tonight in their preseason opener. Jason Tatum has been named as a special advisor to Duke head basketball coach John Shire. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Dr. Matthew Lopresti and Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, the hair doctor of Hardy, Charlie McAvoy, and Sean Corrali. Call 1-800-GET-HAIR for your free consultation. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hooters is your pro and
Barth covers the Patriots extensively on 98.5thesportshub.com. He's in studio with us. We've gone on and on about the offense. What are you seeing from the New England defense?
I mean, this front is absurd. They've been, by a lot of metrics, one of, if not the best run defense in the league. The pressure is every time, third downs, 2-minute red zone. It feels like every time you're looking at saying, man, a sack here or, forcing a throwaway here, they come up every single time. The combination of Milton Williams and Christian Barmore has been as advertised, as I said in the last segment. That was the blueprint. I have to imagine this is exactly what they were thinking about when they signed those guys. In the secondary, I think getting Christian Gonzalez back really helps. The second half of that game, I thought he looked like he did last year. He was not bad, but not quite himself against Carolina. Got beat a couple times in the first half, but we got 2024 Christian Gonzalez in the second half of that game. If you get that guy week in and week out, it's going to help Carlton Davis. It's going to help Marcus Jones. They just need to find some way to cover tight ends. That's really what's killing them right now. Besides that, there's a lot to like on that side of the ball. Is
that the linebacker problem? Is there a problem with the linebackers?
I mean, it could be a linebacker, it could be a safety. You could address it through either position. I think Robert Spillane's playing much better right now than he was at the beginning of the season, which is part of the reason they're better, but they're still looking for that guy next to him. Christian Ellis still hasn't popped. I thought Jack Gibbons played pretty well last week, didn't get as much of a chance this week. We saw a little of Jelani Tavai, but it still feels like if they could get another, solid starter there next to Spillane, it would do a lot.
Yeah, Gibbons was a guy called for pass interference late, correct?
Yeah.
That beard on fourth down.
Everyone's always pulling on that beard. Do you, Hardy will get it. Do you, how many times do you watch the game? Because, you're breaking down linebacker and safety play. That's not one viewing. If you're intimately aware with Christian Gonzalez's play per half, how many times have you checked out film of that game?
So, obviously watch it once live, kind of just go through basically a second time after, and then I'll pick out certain plays or certain, go through and watch all of Christian Gonzalez. So the entire game twice, maybe 3 times, but there might be some plays that I watched 5, 6, 7 times.
You know what's frustrating is the NFL has the condensed games, they're a half an hour and it's every play.
Yep.
And that makes it worse because you're not watching it live. You already know what happened. And so when you see a game with no fluff, you realize just how little actually happens.
There's not a lot.
No, there's really not. There's a lot of, 2 yards in a cloud of dust. And then, when you're watching it in real time and you don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, it's
fantastic. But watching it all cut up, you're like, not so much was going on there.
My favorite way to watch NFL is 30 minutes behind the action. And that way, on those 2 yards in a cloud of dust plays, as soon as the back hits the line, I do the 30-second skip on the remote. And there you go. Drake May's right back under center or in the shotgun and ready to take. I don't need to watch the rest of that. Whatever they're going to break down on that play, I'm like, it doesn't mean anything to me.
I can't do that. It's like watching Seinfeld on Comedy Central. Now that it's off, I can't watch it on Netflix. I need the stuff.
Well, to your point about how many times you watch the game, one of your mailbag questions this week was about the offensive line. I'm like, this is something I thought we'd be talking a lot about at least 4 or 5 weeks into the season. I didn't pay any attention to the offensive line.
That's a good thing. That's a really good thing.
In the Buffalo game. Yeah. And I think you said they were okay.
They were fine. I saw a lot of people because Drake May kept leaving the pocket. And I think a lot of people interpreted that as the line was not good. And that's not the case. Not always. There were a couple times where he was flush, but there were some times where he's moving, and this gets to, him growing in his maturity. He's moving to manipulate the defense. And on the throw to Diggs, right? He gets out of the pocket, and you see Diggs cut back across the field. That's not really a throw you can make from the pocket. It's a much tougher throw from the pocket, but when he gets outside, he has that angle. So, I saw some people saying it was the worst game of the year for the offensive line, things like that. It wasn't their best. But I thought, especially against a front with Bosa and those guys, I thought they were solid. I think people were a little too nitpicky on what they did in this game.
Okay. With regard to Diggs, and we had talked about this the day after, how much of it was him facing his former team. Those were some really impressive numbers that I don't know anybody expects. but he was doing something else in the game that you pointed out too. And I think Callahan brought it up again yesterday. It's the yards after the catch. And that was really impressive.
So this is the new Stephon Diggs. And this is what's so encouraging is he's not the downfield threat he used to be. He can still get there every once in a while, but he's not, averaging 18 yards per catch in Buffalo. He's not just going to be that at this point in his career. But you look at a lot of the great receivers in this game, and what they did is late in their career, they figured out a way to reinvent themselves. And it looks like that's what Stephon Diggs has done as this intermediate yards after the catch threat. And in this offense, that guy is going to be tremendously productive. It's that Julian Edelman role. And for him to be able to create the way he's doing after the catch, it adds a dynamic that they really have not had in a while from a guy that also is, a reliable receiver and a guy you can trust to get 10, 12 targets a game. We talked about Travion Henderson with the snaps, right? And people saying he needs to play more even though he's playing. People thought Diggs played a lot in that game. He only played half of their offensive snaps. 30 of 60. He was targeted 12 times on 30 snaps, 10 catches on 30 snaps.
Almost half the plays he was in on, he was the target.
Who's to blame on Buffalo for that? Because that is interesting. Like, you give a lot of credit to Diggs, but also, like, that was the story going in. How did they allow that to happen? It's not like there's a surrounding cast of great... Like, he was just kind of riding the coattails of a number one.
But especially in the second half where you see the pattern. You already know in the first half, if he's in there, he's going to get the football. Second half, it got even worse.
Yeah, what'd you see there?
So some of it is just their secondary wasn't good to begin with and is banged up and they're missing guys. But I also think they kind of went in like, all right, 31 years old off a torn ACL, run after the catch. Let's see how you move. Let's see how you cut. And he beat him on it. The way they were covering him was kind of just keep everything in front of you and step up and make the tackle. And he forced a ton of missed tackles in that game.
Yeah, interesting. Because I'm with John. Is in the second half of that game, you're saying
no excuse if you're Buffalo.
How did you not figure out that this is the plan? And he's not AJ Brown, right? And like he's not like an elite number one receiver. He's not Jamar Chase.
Like Alex was saying, he's in the process of reinventing himself. He's not the burner on the outside. He's got to transition. This will be the rest of his career. He's got to transition inside and run routes.
And then there's also some of that. I mean, the throw down the sideline with the rollout.
Yeah.
There's not much more Buffalo can do there. That's one where these guys get paid too. The one where the defensive lineman's hanging all over me, he flips it forward. Should have been a 2-yard completion. If that, he breaks the tackle, goes for 12. Like, he kind of just didn't let them stop him, to put it bluntly.
He's going to suck this week. All right. He left it all out there in Buffalo. All right. Alex, go ahead. You got something.
Just final thing. It has been offered up in this room that Borregales should have been offended by the way he was treated after that game with all the glad handing and backslapping. It was too much. It was almost condescending, the way he was celebrated after making that kick. How do you feel about that?
I feel like that's how kickers usually get treated after a game winner, especially a long one. I didn't think it was that weird.
It's not long anymore. 52 yards is the new 30.
I know, but he crushed that ball.
Oh, get out of here. He crushed it. Now you've gone too far.
Somebody else, that thing looked like it was good from 75.
Over the goalpost from 52.
He's at the top of the goalpost from 52. That wasn't like squeaking across 52.
You're putting bad mojo out now, Alex. You're getting too greedy. You're getting too greedy with the Patriots. Now the kick is too much. You've gone too far.
It was an impressive kick.
Your positive vibe has worked thus far, but now I think you're putting negative mojo on the team. You're going over the top.
The universe is going to push back on you.
Oh, it always does.
So if they lose,
when you're smiling, the universe is there to yank your pants down.
This does feel like a little bit of a trap game. I talked about that with David yesterday.
Boom. Yeah. There you go. It does. It's a trap game. There's nothing on the other end of the trap. So there is, there was last week, not so much the week after. They might be playing a worse team the week after. All right.
The trap is just a stick in a box.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Listen, these are NFL teams that they have to play. Look, going to New Orleans isn't easy.
Their first win of the year last week.
Absolutely. All right. Look, the all-star cast at offense over there. All right. Alex, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Read all his stuff at 985thesportshub.com. He does a great job, videos, everything else. We will be back in just a moment.
Stay tuned.
In tonight, and they'll do it on the road against the Washington Capitals. Brand new head coach Marco Sturm's a little nervous.
I had butterflies my first game here against Wash. After that, it was like back to business. I probably expect that tomorrow and then maybe the first game at home again. But, as soon as you start the game, though, I got to say, as soon as you start the game, the first 5 minutes, you're in game mode. You're in coaching mode.
Brian Johnson and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7 and the face-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Turning to football, Patriots will be back on the practice field this afternoon. Their next game is on the road this coming Sunday against New Orleans. Cincinnati has acquired quarterback Joe Flacco and a 6th-round draft pick from Cleveland in exchange for a 5th-round selection. The Celtics preseason begins tonight in Memphis against the Grizzlies. Only 4 preseason games for the Celtics before they open up the regular season in a couple of weeks. Yesterday, Jason Tatum was named as a special advisor to Duke head basketball coach John Shire. And the Yankees are still alive in the Major League Baseball playoffs. They beat Toronto last night 9-6 at Yankee Stadium. Aaron Judge, a game-tying 3-run homer. He drove in 4 runs for the win. Blue Jays lead the best of 5, 2-1. In Detroit, Seattle beat the Tigers 8-4. The Mariners lead 2-1. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the $14.99 Big Deal Meals at the 99, like the new grilled teriyaki chicken available every Monday through Wednesday for just $14.99. You gotta love the nines. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's Home for Sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5.
And let's get back to Toucher and Hart.
In the spotlight. The movies, the TV shows, they're nice, but when are these people celebrated?
Yeah,
That's what they need.
I don't want to see them in their own skin. I don't want to see them as, they give us all the gift of pretending to be other people, which is our soul food, it feeds our souls. So finally, Hollywood has gotten it together and decided that they were going to make an award show called the Golden Globes, which at one point was porn. But then it went boobs to butts, and they had to change focus very quickly. As the culture moved to the Kardashian style of looking, they had to pivot quickly,
right,
and have some ass kind of thing. But the Golden Globes, of course, have been around for a long time. I've never watched them, neither have you, I would imagine. And what do they honor? Everything? What is it? Just like if you're famous, here's an award? I don't understand. What is the Golden Globes? I realize I've obviously heard of it, but I've never taken any of it in or been aware of anything that's going on.
We know the Oscars is from the Motion Picture Association of America, blah, 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 and it's just film. That's what film, but Golden Globes, is it everything?
It's the Golden Globes it's a different organization, right? It's the Hollywood Foreign Correspondents Association.
Oh, the Hollywood Foreign Press.
Oh, I don't like the foreigners.
Think of it like the difference between.
So these awards are meaningless and shifted by woke politics.
Precisely. You took the words right out of my mouth because the analogy I was about to draw, Fred, is the difference between Miss USA, Miss Maine, and Miss Maine USA.
Of course.
You see what I'm saying?
We all know about that.
So as Hardy says, the Oscars are film, the Emmys are TV. I'm even so bold as to say the Tonys are about theater. And I've never seen the Tonys. Well, I have. I saw Doogie Howser do the opening. It was very good. I'm not making that up. He did a very impressive musical opening. So I have seen the Tonys. I've never seen the Golden Globes. But
okay, so Golden Globes is movies and TV.
Okay, but they've added a new category now radio has been around since the early 20th century. But
we have the Marconis, which again televised nationally.
Yeah,
everyone pays attention.
And
It's a big day when the nomination day. The morning network news programs will tell you who's been nominated.
Sure.
The best medium market country midday show.
The big reveal. Everybody gets up early.
Yes.
So when we won a Marconi, I was very excited. I can honestly tell you my excitement level based on recent Marconis would be leveled at about 10% of what it was when we originally won. I don't quite understand the nominating process. There's 2 shows in this market, Hillman and The Mix Show, that are nominated for Best Show, which is fine, and I'm sure they're fine, but I don't understand how they're the best. I'm not saying we're the best, But I find it hard to believe in the country that the Hillman Morning Show is considered one of the 4 best shows in the country. Like, there's no one in Los Angeles or New York. Like, I guess the Breakfast Club is syndicated. But there's no local show that's better than Hillman. I find that very hard to believe.
Well, you don't put in the legwork. You don't put in the hours of research. You don't do the
neither
R&D
does the Golden
required.
Globes. The Golden Globes, because they did not. They've never honored radio, but here they are. They're going to honor the podcast.
Oh, sweet.
The podcast, which everyone has one. Everyone loves the podcast. Everyone needs a microphone in front of them. They need to have no stakes on the line. It's all got to happen. The Haktua Girl and the Dancing with the Stars. Everyone needs a podcast. You watch a TV show, you have to listen to the podcast after it to hear, even though you just watched it. And that's what friends are for. But nonetheless, you listen to other people talk about it. So I do like episodic podcasts that tell a narrative. I think that's a very unique thing to podcast because you can't do that on live radio. You can't tell a story with like mixed in interviews and stuff. I told you in the Once Upon a Time series, I thought it was really good. They did one on Tracy Lords, and they did one on the writers that went to Bennington. Some listeners suggested this Charles Manson in Hollywood one that I've been listening to. And like those ones that are heavily investigated and told as a story, which is kind of what broke podcasting in the first place. That's unique to podcasting. And it's a very entertaining way to consume audio. Just the guy with a microphone is just radio that's taped.
Right.
So, there's talented people doing it, and I really, truly believe that. But it's not, it's just taped radio.
Well, and with no restrictions as to how long you can go, what you have to think about in a timely manner. It does, some of these things that we have here that, are looked at as, constraints. Oh, we got to, finish this up before a certain time. If we have to break and go on to something else, I think that helps you. You move things along.
Also, I think the FCC line helps too to play with. I do think that having that restriction in a sick way is actually kind of good. All right, so
you hear that, FCC? We like you. We think you're doing a good job.
Oh, we're on their radar. I mean, we're on Trump's radar. I mean, we're really stirring the pot over here. All right, so I think we're good for a while. By the time they get to Boston local radio, I think that the country will have already gone over its change. All right, so here we go. Here are the podcasts nominated for the Golden Globes. I want to hear if you've heard of it and if you've heard it.
Okay.
So those are two different things. Have you heard the name?
I like it.
Or have you, and in addition to that, have you heard it? All right, so here we are. 2020 from ABC News. Now, is that a unique thing or is it just 2020 without video?
Okay. I don't know because I do listen to the Dateline channel on satellite, and that is pretty much just episodes where they rip the audio and you just listen to Dateline.
Because I know ESPN has like a radio feed of its TV and it's unlistenable.
Yeah.
Right.
So, no, I haven't heard of it. Haven't listened to it.
Okay. Well, we can blow through some of these. 48 Hours is the TV show.
Yeah.
Now this is one I want to know if you've heard of it. I want to know if you've heard it. Armchair Expert with Dax Shepard, the wife of the girl from The Good Place, or the husband of the woman.
Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
No.
Dax Shepard. He is a recovering alcoholic, so I can't be mean to him, as is the rules. But no, I've never heard it. Call Her Daddy. You've heard of it. Have you ever heard it?
I haven't heard 1 second.
Neither have I, but I don't think it's for us. Candace, I would imagine, is Candace Owens. Now, I've never heard it on podcast, but I've certainly seen it on YouTube, and I do appreciate her sticking up for freedom of speech. She seems to have, whatever her politics are, didn't waver with the MAGA thing on there. She stayed very true to her ideals in that. Crime Junkie.
Yep.
Oh, you've heard that?
I've heard of it, and have listened to it, yes.
Okay, I just thought it was a guy shooting heroin, but that's not the case. Dateline NBC sounds groundbreaking.
Yeah, right.
Dateline's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's 3 podcasts where there's little or no creativity at all.
Well, it's
right?
the Golden Globes.
Okay.
They know more than you. Good Hang with Amy Poehler. You've heard of it. Have you heard it?
No.
I've heard.
No.
I saw when she had Aubrey Plaza on and talked about her husband committing suicide.
That's the same clip I saw.
And I don't doubt that's like an enjoyable thing to listen to. Morbid.
Nope. What is that?
Stepping on stuff. Dead stuff.
Okay.
McBallin Podcast, Strange and Dark Mysterious Stories. That sounds like that wouldn't be bad, but I've never heard of it.
Some of these look really good, and then you start listening to them, and it's the same thing. It's just one person talking about a story that they've read about. And if you don't put some more into it, I'm not going to listen to it. Yeah, if all you did was read a couple of articles or, maybe, heaven forbid, read a book, and then you're going to talk about it for an hour, no, that's not worth my time.
Part of my take you've heard of. Have you ever heard it?
No.
I haven't heard it either, strangely enough. I know it's incredibly influential, and I probably should have listened to it, but I have not.
I have heard a couple of episodes, yes.
Okay, there you go.
Yes.
Pod Save America. Now, I've heard of that, but I don't know what it is. Okay.
No idea.
Rotten Mango.
What?
Yeah, step on it. Oh, of course, the Sean Ryan Show. Everyone knows Sean Ryan.
Okay.
Smartless, the multi-million-dollar effort of Jason Bateman. Side project.
Have heard of it. I've heard it.
What they do is it's a celebrities interviewing celebrities.
Yeah.
But they don't, only one of the three between Sean Hayes, Jason Bateman, and Will Arnett knows who the celebrity guest is going to be.
I wonder if the 200th time that's fun. Stuff you should know. I don't like to be told what to do.
No, it says that. Would you like to be told things that you should know? Not what to do, just so that you know things.
Ben Shapiro show, obviously, you've heard of. It's You Are Comedians. The Bill Simmons podcast. I've never heard it, but I have. Okay. Oh, yes, I have, because he's talked about us. Go ahead.
I'm not sure, because Simmons does like 7 podcasts. He does a basketball one. He does emergency ones when Boston teams are in the playoffs. I've heard Simmons do a podcast, but I'm not sure it's the one you're talking about.
But he's very influential in that, so he should probably be honored. The Daily from the New York Times is up on the New York Times site. It's not a podcast. It's a video of, what's his name? Not Ezra Klein. Whatever. If you go to the New York Times, it's up on the New York Times streaming. Yeah. So it's not a podcast. Oh, my God. It sucks when they don't even know what it is. It's not that. How is that a podcast?
That's the thing.
It's almost as if, and follow me for a minute here before you go through the rest of the list here, Fred, because I think the theme has already popped out. These are all, for the most part, very mainstream, very well-known podcasts that the Golden Globes, and there's 25 of them. And then they say at the end of the list that you can submit more eligible podcasts to be included in this new Golden Globes category. It's almost as if they're leveraging the audiences of these podcasts in order to get more people to pay attention to the Golden Globes.
That's a good point. This reminds me of remember when I was at BC and the the female couple at the wedding of my cousin said I was staring at him too much.
Yes.
And they sent out an email to everyone they knew saying that they had won a Oscar or an Emmy or something. And everyone was like, oh, but it was just that bloggers got some award. The Emmys just said to the bloggers.
Oh, sure.
And they took that as a personal award.
Yeah. You were tapping on the glass, though, Fred.
Yes, they felt like they were at a zoo when I was just staring at them. I was very drunk. There's no question. I didn't say anything, though. The Joe Rogan Experience, I've never heard of it. The Megyn Kelly Show, I obviously know who Megyn Kelly is. I've never heard it. The Mel Robbins podcast, you know him from Spaceballs. The Tucker Carlson Show, of course, you've never heard, but you know it. This past weekend with Theo Vaughn is fascinating because he's dug himself his own hell, and I saw it coming a mile away. He has gotten into his own personal hell. It's not of his It's his creation.
Is he having fun? Is that what he thought? He was going to be having a lot of fun on his podcast?
That line of fun and just being because he's funny. He's a interesting guy, and I think he's a good interviewer, but he really dipped his toe in the wrong pond, and now he is caught up in the nonsense, and that is not a good place to be, and it's taking a big toll on him. I wish I knew him, because my advice to him would have been just keep doing what you're doing. I know that you're going to get quick views if you have these politicians on, but you're going to become part of the narrative, and now they're using his stuff in ISIS videos and all this, and he's freaking out because he's too in. And with the internet, people can get at you too much. He's got to have security. Did you hear the government offered him security, extra security?
Really?
After he was in that ISIS video? Yeah. And he's like, well, now my neighbors are all going to so once you get into that world, Like Joe Rogan, I've told you, travels with security. My friend saw him at the grocery store, and there was like a perimeter around him. Like dudes like hiding in the aisles. So that's not a way to live. Rogan probably wants to live like that, but Theo Von doesn't want to live like that. So that I just wish I could have told him, you got a good thing going. You don't need to start getting involved in politics. And Up First from NPR has been listened to by nobody but cab drivers. So there you go.
All right. Golden Globe trivia. Who is the youngest person to ever win an award? We know him for his later work on TV. John and I both know him from his much later work, and to my knowledge, the last thing he really did on TV.
Joey Lawrence.
No, you're
from Give Me a Break.
Rick Schroeder.
Rick Schroeder, and he won as a 9-year-old for
The Champ.
Very good.
Very good.
Yep, The Champ.
A little NYPD Blue connection there.
Yes.
And it gets back to Jason Bateman, who does Smartless and was on Silver Spoon. So there you go.
And
he was a wiseacre.
The film that has won the most Golden Globes. It's a musical. It
9.
No, it's
8.5. Sorry.
Cats.
Who cares how many? 7. Okay, they won 7 Golden Globes. Came out
Sound of Music.
2016. It's a musical.
I know what it is.
Oh,
but
I know what it is,
I
too.
don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know what the name of it is.
It's La La Land.
That is correct.
Oh, God.
Still haven't seen it.
That's a lot of effort for something that I would actively remove myself from if it was on in the background. That is not for me.
Would you leave the room? I'd leave the house.
Yeah, that is not for me. There is a musical theater people, but I am not one of them, as my proclivities go to more heterosexual pursuit. No, I'm just kidding. But yes, it's a La La Land. No, thank you. I would not enjoy that. All right, we'll be back in just a moment. We'll have our award-winning email segment.
listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
You know, I got an idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. Let's do the email bit.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Tomorrow at 8:50, we will have tickets to the Boston Bruins home opener at the Garden as we get to know the new players. Who are not necessarily new, but
take notes. They're new to us.
Well, I mean, if you were watching post-trade deadline Bruins hockey, I mean, you love hockey, like a lot. Like, I got to be honest with you, my interest in that team was not much when they were eliminated from the playoffs.
Well, they finished last for the first time since when, Fred?
2006?
The 2006-2007 team.
That's
Dave Lewis,
team
head
I had
coach.
season tickets for.
That's why I brought it up. Yep.
And then I got rid of them, and they immediately got good.
Yes.
I literally couldn't give the tickets away.
About 12 months later. That was it.
Yeah.
Off and running.
Yeah, I was going to ingratiate myself to the people of Boston, and I picked the absolute worst
the
thing.
bottom six forwards, there are some that you know, but there are a lot more that you don't. Especially that third line. That's going to be a mystery to a lot of people who haven't been watching this team.
Absolutely. If you want to email us, our emails are at 985thesportshub.com. You can follow us on social at Toucher and Hardy, at Hardy985, and on Instagram at Fred Toucher. Russell says, Freddie, your Mel Robbins / Mel Brooks Spaceballs joke went somehow unnoticed, and I need to give you proper praise. Almost spit out my coffee. Russ, you're an easy audience. Thank you. But I had a friend of mine text me, and he said, Mel Robbins is a woman. You're thinking of Mel Brooks. What did it say?
This is a friend of yours?
Yeah. I'm
great.
like, you want to explain it more? Like I didn't know it was a woman, but I certainly knew it wasn't Mel Brooks. I mean, my goodness gracious. Jeremy, our friend Jeremy, who emails all the time, says, I always thought about suggesting the Mick Ballin podcast to you. One reason is he tells stories about cave divers and explorers getting trapped in tunnels, and it was in line with some of your YouTube rabbit holes. My guess is you probably watched some of Mr. Ballin's YouTube videos. His podcast is telling stories about real events with some editorial license. Some things can be known and some things can. Half the podcasts are remastered YouTube audio without the video, but he does a good job filling any gaps.
Oh, Mr. Ballin.
Mr. Ballin is what it's called. It's Ballin. But the cave thing is something that you're out of your mind doing, because I will tell the story very quickly of a video I watched on YouTube. Famously, a man, he's going spelunking. He's underneath, like miles underneath the earth, and he gets stuck in a small space.
Nope.
So what they do is they know he's there, so they try to get him out and they can't. So the suggestion is to break every bone in his body so they can manipulate his body out of it. So they proceed in breaking all his bones, but they still can't get him out, so he dies.
God.
And all because he wanted to dick around a cave.
Have fun. Yeah.
Like you jump out of an airplane, at least it's 20 seconds of like, oh boy, and then you fall to your death, and it's an instantaneous death. And there almost might be like some rush of dopamine or something that comes with it.
There's nothing about like going deeper that has any appeal to me whatsoever.
No,
like a submarine, caves. No.
And you're really pushing your luck, because if you want to be good at it, the whole thing is the chance of getting stuck. So that's the whole appeal of it, is getting stuck, right? That's why it's dangerous. It's because people don't want to get stuck under the earth. But that's not the way I want to die. Stuck under the earth, like with full knowledge for days that this is happening. Like they literally can't get you out. It's on TV. This is all a famous story. It's on TV. They got cameras down there and stuff. And people are beating you. However they broke the bones, they must have knocked the guy out. I would just be like, knock me out.
I would think ultimately the pain would force you to pass out at one point.
Well, I got to assume they don't just break all your bones without giving you anything, like even a little something to numb the pain.
Oh, Novocaine.
A little Novocaine, a little something if you're going to break every bone in my body.
Ben, our buddy Ben, says, my wife listens to the Morbid podcast, and then she went to their live show at the Wilbur recently and said it sucked. There's no cohesion. They just sat and talked on stage randomly, changing subjects for an hour. So what's worse than the podcast boom? The sudden demand for live podcasting in front of an audience where they just do the same crap.
If they sold that place out, I suddenly feel much worse about our shows at the Wilbur.
Well, you, first of all, women love nothing more than serial killer stuff and gross killings.
Yeah.
They somehow that is, I don't know why it appeals to women so much. I've read something about why, but I can't remember what it was. But the thing about the podcast, doing live podcasts, of course they're boring, but also they can't make money doing the podcast, most of them, even if it's successful. So the way that you make money is you go around the country, selling tickets to a show that ultimately is going to be boring. Because if you're doing a unique show in every market, there's no way it's going to be good. Like, if I'm doing 20 cities and I got to come up with 20 morbid podcasts, there's no way that it... Right. Maybe I could do one, like audio-visual delight to the senses, but I can't do it 20 times.
The only live show I like listening to other than comedians is I'll still listen to Wait, Don't Tell Me every once in a while.
Yeah,
but
you do.
That's always been a live show.
Yeah.
So like the energy of it and the announcing of it is meant for a live audience. But a couple of podcasts that I have listened to, when they do them live, whether it's Conan or I've heard the Smart List, like after 5 minutes, I tap out. I'm like, no, this isn't right. It's a different energy. It's a different vibe. I don't like it.
Well, if you're the Smartless guys, it's just the press release and the idea that you're on stage. Like, you get a lot of rope because, like, you're three relatively famous people on a stage.
Correct.
Joshing around. And then you bring out a big celeb. The best podcast of all time, of course, is the Oh Hello podcast from COVID.
No, that is... But definitely not a live audience because it was COVID.
No.
That's awesome. Cam says, you know what Bill Belichick is thinking? He doesn't owe these kids anything because they're so lucky that he is coaching them. You know that's how he thinks.
Yeah, it's absolutely how he thinks, and I don't think he cares at all anymore about any of this. And the people saying, like, you're talking too much about it, that day will come. It is not today. There will be a day where it is too much. And that will be reflected against me. But today is not the day.
5 games into his first season.
No, today is not the day, especially with the way he's getting killed. And someone emailed and said Paul Feinbaum really went into him and said he was the worst college coach of all time.
Oh, yeah, he was on his way to being, known for that.
Yeah, it's not good.
You're 73 years old. How many years do you think he has left? 2?
Well, it's that thing.
If he doesn't get fired, say he stays at North Carolina, how many years altogether?
Oh, 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah.
I can't imagine much, but it's that old, how many yachts can you water ski behind? It's just, at what point is it not worth, like, tarnishing your legacy, which is going to be outlive you? Like at this point in your life, aren't you thinking about the way you'll be remembered?
See, it was explained to me once a long time ago, especially with coaches, they have that itch that you can't scratch. Like, why did Parcells come back so many times? How many different jobs did he have before he retired? It's the same with a lot of coaches.
But
a lot of coaches must do this.
But Belichick is losing his mind, and he's putting his kids in, and his friends' kids, and his friends, and his girlfriend's doing everything.
Right.
Like,
He doesn't. He wanted to coach first. Got a job coaching. It wasn't his dream to go to North Carolina. He wanted an NFL team, but he had that itch he couldn't scratch. Once he got that job, he's like, okay, this wasn't really what I wanted, so let me bring my friends in and give me a buffer zone so I don't have to deal with X, Y, and Z. And all of these decisions have caused this career to have a bad ending to it. You know what I'm saying?
It's
As
like
if
you
the
guys-
NFL ending wasn't bad, but you understand my point.
Yeah, but it's the same thing as, like, you guys were like, you wouldn't go to, like, the Abu Dhabi to do the flag football thing if you were Brady, and it's like, no, because first of all, I don't need the press. Second of all, I don't need the money, and I don't feel like going there. Like, do you understand? Like that money, when you have so much money that you can't spend all of it, what's the point? It's easier. I don't want the hassle.
Like, do you really think Pete Carroll wanted to go to Vegas and watch, Smith throw interceptions? Did he really think he was going to win anything going to Vegas? He's older than Bill is.
Oh, I think he thought he was going to win in Vegas. It's an NFL job, John. I mean, there's a difference between what Pete Carroll's doing and what Belichick's doing. Pete Carroll got a job. There's a real staff around him. It's an NFL job. Yeah, I think he thinks he can win. I think he's there to rebuild that culture. I don't think he's there to be there for 10 years, but he's certainly, Breer told us, he's there to like just kind of get things right, and then he'll leave it to someone else.
And the other thing is, all of these coaches, like we brought up Bill Walsh, who Belichick's compared to because he's a Super Bowl winning guy who went and coached college. Walsh was done at the age of 63. Parcells, I don't know what year he finished, but it wasn't in his 70s. I'll tell you that. So, I mean, everyone else other than Carroll has quit long before Belichick has.
Bob, go ahead.
Hey, I just wanted, speaking of the old coach thing, you've talked about Mac Brown like he's some ancient old fossil. I looked it up. He is 9 months older than Belichick. That's how old Belichick is. He is also an ancient old fossil.
Yeah, I mean, they went from Mac Brown, who made a bowl, to Bill Belichick. So, yeah, it was a kind of a lateral move. Yeah, Mac Brown was no hero there, but he made the bowl.
Yeah.
They played right there at Fenway Park. Belichick couldn't be bothered to go. He was already named the coach because December 9th, or was he had already been named coach because December 9th he was named coach? Or no, December 9th he was named coach. I don't know when
the bowl was around Christmas time, so it was afterwards.
All right, there you go. So I guess he didn't even bother to go to the bowl game.
Now, normally I wouldn't do this because this is like an inner office email, but it is the email segment, and it's something we need to talk about anyway. Based on our successful broadcast from the Travelers Championship earlier this year, they're gearing up for next season, and they're kicking around some ideas. I won't read the entire email here from Chris, the AE, but the Travelers Championship just last month voted Fans' Choice for Best PGA Tour Event in 2025. So this is
the Golden Globes of golf.
I mean, Fred, it is the most popular and most one of the most well-attended and best received tournaments on tour. I can only think that our presence there had something to do with that. They're looking to expand our presence in 2026. So kick it around the room. No idea is a bad one. No bad ideas in brainstorming. John, you go first.
Maybe not go at all. What do you think?
No,
I want expand our. Oh, that's the opposite. I'm sorry.
They treated us right. In all seriousness, I'll go back there. I have no problem going back there. They treated us right.
Yes, a bit more. Now a bit more.
Okay, what if we do like...
I'll go multiple days. I'll just put that on the table right now. We were only there on Wednesday, Pro-Am Day. I'll stay Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever they need me for.
Here's what...
Fred, go.
Okay, so in the mornings, while we're not there, we have something called the Caddy Shack, and it's Hardy just chewing the fat with caddies.
Oh, man.
It's like an alternate broadcast.
You're trying to make a joke? That would be great.
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
Yeah. We get to know like all the things about being a caddy.
Maybe talk to the head greenskeeper. Maybe that'll be an hour.
Well, no, let's not go crazy. We already did. I think he did talk to the head greenkeeper of the Travelers.
I've spoken with the Super before, but...
I believe that was a segment on the golf show. He ingratiates himself with these people.
Wonderful recognition for the tournament, which has established itself as one of the best weeks in golf, said Andy Bissett, Executive Vice President, Chief Administrative Officer at the Travelers, friend of mine, great guy. You know, maybe we get him on for a segment. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
Some people think he only got the job because his relation to Jacoby and his success here with the Patriots.
Bissett.
Oh. All right. Well, then that changes. I don't like that his name is that.
We'll continue to kick it around in the post-show meeting, though.
Yeah. Let's really lay into it. Let's give the account executive some ideas, because why would he come to the table with any?
I did think of that as I was reading the email.
Considering he's talking to them, maybe he would have an idea of what they want.
I'm pretty sure that's what Rick is thinking too. CC'd on the email and has remained oddly mum on the matter.
Oh.
If you want to do some inside stuff, I have an audition for a video game today. And the instructions are no saccharine sweet, pedantic, or infantilizing. Not a cheesy sports commentator. So you go, okay.
Infantilizing?
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it.
Infantilizing.
Yeah.
So here is how you, this is the stuff they want you to read, not being corny.
You would be one of the voices in the video game.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like much of a video game, but it's Team Red. If you're Team Red all the way, then press the button now. If you want to change, place a card from the other team in the Tony box.
Stop. Hold on. Just clip that and send that in as the audition.
Well, it's an electric crowd here at the stadium today for a battle between rivals, Team Blue and Team Red. They go head to, I mean, you can tell this is
Your agent got you this audition?
Wow.
Yeah.
Does she know you? Have you met her? She's spoken
it
with
said
you?
sports in it, and so I think she got excited that it's not AI.
You know, our voice guy, longtime production guy here and at BCN, John Riley, his voice can be heard at a number of places, including
Grand Theft Auto.
There you go.
I knew it. All right, we'll be back, and that's the holy grail of radio, video games. You know, that is what you want.
Yeah.
If you can be on one of the radio stations in Grand Theft Auto, that would be cool. We used to have that guy on the show in an effort to like kind of try to get him to like us to put us on the video game, but
didn't work.
His name is Laz or something like that. I know Obie and Anthony used to grease him up too, so we'd put him in the video games. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
At long last, the Bruins regular season opener is here. They'll visit the Washington Capitals tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 7 and the face-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The home opener is tomorrow night against Chicago. And football news, the Patriots visit New Orleans this Sunday. The players will be back at practice this afternoon. Cleveland yesterday traded quarterback Joe Flacco to Cincinnati along with a 6th-round pick for a 5th-round selection. The NFL is fined Dallas owner Jerry Jones $250,000. He flipped off Jets fans near the end of the Cowboys' road win at MetLife Stadium last weekend. Celtics preseason begins tonight in Memphis. And at the baseball playoffs, the Yankees came back to beat Toronto 9-6. Blue Jays still lead that best of 5, 2-1. Seattle won in Detroit 8-4. The Mariners lead 2-1. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Sparks. Sharpen your hockey skates at home with the Sparks Sharpener. Be ready for hockey season. Head to @sparkshockey.com and use promo SportsHub at checkout for $50 off. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 10 o'clock.
You're listening to
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Adolfo texted me, and he was texting about Texas, and he said he had to get a VPN to watch porn. And to that, I'll say, don't think I haven't been to Tennessee and Florida. What happens is, and I'm not against it. Like, there's a thing that comes up that you got to be 18 and you got to have, like, registered to look at porn, which, I mean, you weren't allowed to buy porn or rent porn when we were kids. I don't know why it should be any different on the internet. There's probably some First Amendment reason that I'm not seeing the forest through the trees, but it doesn't seem like the end of the world. And I'll just give you some advice. If you know anything about pornography, the workaround on it is not hard. It's not like everything that's pornographic has been labeled as porn. Like Pornhub and YouPorn have been labeled as porn.
How about this? Go on Twitter. The Twitter's the Wild West now.
Oh, really?
You see things on Twitter that you wouldn't see 10 years ago.
Yeah, so,
Crazy.
I mean, it's not difficult to still watch pornography.
Right.
I don't have a problem with the 18 thing. And by the way, Nick really embarrassed himself. He acted like a fool. First of all, Ryan and Adam weren't even in the effing room.
Mm-hmm.
So I go down to get my sodas.
I understand.
DPs. And a gentleman is in the elevator with me, and then we come in, and he says, hello, I'm with this corporation. And I say, he goes, do you know where WBZ is? I say, it's right here. I let him in because that's my way.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, John, when I let the homeless guy in the vestibule because it was pouring rain out I was attacked?
He stayed in the antechamber there. Didn't go in the building.
I refused to be told I couldn't let him in. I wanted him out of the rain, Hardy.
Yeah.
So this gentleman, I bring him in, and he's asking for someone. I don't know anyone's name. So I go, Nick, Adam and Ryan aren't anywhere to be found. I go, Nick, because he's talking to Tyler. They're cutting it up. Not anything about the show.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, what do you want?
Wow.
Right in front of the guy.
Oh, boy. Wow. Oh,
right
boy.
in front of the guy. It really embarrassed himself.
Wow.
A potential client, I wouldn't doubt, for the station, too.
Yeah.
Nice going, Nick.
Yeah, radio's in the business of
I mean,
turning
he
money
just
down.
yelled at me.
Yeah.
And all I said was, Nick, can you help this gentleman find who he's looking for?
Yeah.
And that's, quote, what I said. I said, Nick, can you help this gentleman? He's a client. I said, Nick, can you help this gentleman find who he's looking for? And Nick yelled at me.
He's looking at me like I'm crazy.
And I'm not making it up.
Well-
And he knows he did. You heard him come in here and apologize.
Yes.
But
Yes.
now he's acting like he didn't say anything in that room.
Maybe
Sounds like he said plenty.
He's in there gesticulating like he tends to do, even though it happened.
Why? When I came back from into the control room, he was walking in at the same time, and he said, "Oh, I made a big mistake. I snapped at Fred." He realizes the error in his ways.
Well, it's not snapping at me. He's allowed to snap at me. I don't care.
You're
if
the
he
one
snaps at
upset.
me. I really don't care if he snaps at me. It's snapping at me in front of a client.
I can't help that. You can see her.
You know, that's a guy looking to spend money.
That was not relayed to me at all.
And he sees that this is some operation full of really harassment. So he didn't know who I was. You know?
Get her out of there!
Well, Fred, the fact that you came in with your 2 diet sodas, this story couldn't be any more perfectly timed. From CNN Health, drinking as little as 1 can of diet soda a day may increase the risk of non-alcohol fatty liver disease by 60%, while drinking a sugary beverage raises the risk by only 50%, a new study has found.
I like the word may in there. And I'll tell you this. I'm aware of my fatty liver. I don't have one. So believe me, that got checked. That got checked a lot. Now, my levels were high.
The condition is called MASLD. Not a pretty word, is it?
You go to detox or rehab, they're taking your liver levels.
It's one of
my
the-
liver levels are on the money, honey.
MASLD, or as in the biz, as we call it, MASLD, is one of the leading causes of liver cancer. Estimated, it's increased by 50% in the U.S. within the past 3 decades. Today, some 38% of the population has the condition.
You know, if you get, unless you get cirrhosis, your liver can literally regenerate itself. It's an amazing organ.
Well, why don't you do it a favor and just cut down on the DPs?
How
and the
many
DCs?
things do I have to quit? I had to quit smoking. I had to quit drinking.
Well,
I
that's-
lost weight. How many things do I have to stop
That's-
before, like, I'm going to die at
That-
some point?
I snapped at two of my good friends, they're practically family, over my weekend visit to Michigan because we're all out to eat a couple of times. And, I'll get a Coke or, I'll get a Mountain Dew or something. They're like, I can't believe you're still drinking that stuff. I said, I need something in my life. Can I have something, please? Can I have this?
So I have thought about this.
Can I have one Coke a day?
Yes, you can, because if it keeps you off the booger sugar, do whatever you need to do.
My ex-wife's father passed away recently, and it got me thinking about mortality. I'm being dead serious now, and I've been I read all these biographies, and I've decided what I don't want to happen, and one of them's not dying. I'm gonna die. I don't want to have a stroke. There are things that I want to prevent against.
You don't want to die in a cave.
No. Yeah, there's ways I don't want to die, but I'm serious. Having a stroke seems awful because the effects that it can have when it doesn't kill you. It can paralyze you and, interrupt your speech so you can't talk. I don't want to have a stroke. So if there's things I can do to prevent a stroke, I would tend to do them. You want to calf raises and stuff like that because it gets the blood flowing. It's just blood getting to your brain, right?
If I were you, I would avoid my contact with Nick.
Get her out of there!
Yeah.
But there's a point where how much life are you adding on? Have you ever thought about that? How much life am I really adding on to the end of this thing?
Or maybe it's not adding on. It's maybe you just not subtracting, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
It's all about quality of life. It's about quality of life.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is smoking's going to kill you early, probably. Drinking can kill you early, but then it's just really a crapshoot after that. This guy died because he drank diet soda. I mean, I'm not positive I believe that.
It's not a story about a guy. It's just it's decreasing your risk of this fatty liver condition.
If I have fatty liver, then I'll stop drinking diet soda. But I don't have a fatty liver, so there we go. Go to the doctor, get your levels checked. Blind Scott says his liver regenerated, and I'll leave you with that.
Oh, thank God.
He's on line one.
Thank God.
I'm sorry, Blind Scott. There's no Blind Scott. Hello.
Yeah, my liver regenerated itself once. I had high enzymes and it was failing from hepatitis, and then I took this miracle medication called Harvoni, and it cleared it up, and now I'm healthy as ever, and I call your show all the time.
Thank you, Blind Scott.
Thanks.
That'll do it for us. Everyone have a